Oh, a nice delay running too. Is that free open? Probably. What is up? All right. Pick up where I left off. Oh, a nice delay running too. What is that, Barth? Which one else is open? There you are. I got you. Okay, good. All right, let's see. Attempt at making a semi-educational video. I'm not supposed to be here, but hey, I don't feel like I should be here, but I'm here. Couldn't stay away forever. What's up, YouTube? All right, I am literally running 3 OBSs at the same time right now. I know you're not supposed to do this. I know this is a terrible idea. Let's see if it's even glitching. Those of you that are not colorblind, you're going to come in very helpful today. All right. Let me see. I'm not streaming to TikTok. I'm not streaming vertical right now. And I have OBS. Not streaming from it, but it's up and running. It is still doing that scene change. Why? I don't like that. That's gross. Okay. And then I don't need to see all this. That's fine. We'll just look at you. You're beautiful. All right. And then this new one, which I just heard about today, didn't even know it existed. But within minutes, set up a pretty cool stream setup. I'm just not sure if I like it yet. And why am I already like not even in the camera view? See, I don't like you. You're doing weird shit. Alright, hold on. I mean, just for that, I don't know. We'll see. I'm educating myself, and hopefully in the quest of educating myself, I educate others. That's the point of this stream. I don't even know. Is that my color of my skin? That seems off. That seems very weird. I like the shadow. I don't know why. The shadow looks good. Okay. Let's go back to learning. Now, see, that shadow looks stupid. You can't cast a shadow up there. Why would you be casting a shadow up there? Well, yeah, I mean, cast a shadow below myself. That makes a lot of sense, too. I don't know. Okay. Let's begin the journey. Now, see, I don't have transitions set up here. Global transitions finger. I have to download. I'm sure I have to get some. These. I'm gonna need to download. I don't have any for OBS. OBS, I think you have to add them individually. What's up, Rogue? Now, I gotta say, I just found this one today. It looks promising, but there's some things about it I'm not a huge fan of immediately. Like, obviously, the scene changing is way easier to do. But I don't know. I gotta look more into it. This one's fairly new. This is a fairly new platform, and I feel like I'm orange or red. What color am I? I get too much sun here. I don't like that one. That's pretty dumb. Anyway, I use OBS. You use OBS? Yeah, I have had it. I just never set it up. I have it right here. Never actually used it, just because at the time, the only way I could stream to I'm multiplying. Oh, with clone army, Oompa Loompa colored. I'm Oompa Loompa colored. Does that it? See, that's I didn't do anything but set up. I didn't do anything. It just did that. I'm not sure why it's that color, but it is. This is Meld Studios, which I'm not mad at. I definitely don't know how to correct the color of my own skin. I don't know how to do that. I don't even know where to start. And my colorblind ass is not going to be able to do it correctly. Fractal noise. I don't know. Let me just hue and saturation maybe. I don't know. I have only used OBS. I don't like I don't like the tool. It's been doing exactly everything I need to so far. I do like the tool. Yeah, so I'm basically setting up this, and well, I believe I have it set up. Let's see. I was looking into this other one only because it seems to do almost everything OBS does without all of the side work, overwork plugins. But if it doesn't do everything I want it to do, and the other thing I don't like the way it has it set up to multi-stream. I really don't. And that's the other thing is the chats too. I got to figure out how to use all the so the chat's still working because I'm using. All right. Let me just start let's go where my journey started. Let's see. For my camera, I had to download 2 extra things to make my background removing. Let's see. Oompa Loompa color. Yes, I have it. So that's the other thing. Why is it referencing this disk space? I'm not even using that disk. Hello, Astro. Well, sup, New Era Gaming. Thank you. I'm not sure I feel about this yet. I wanted to go back to this video, basically going over it. Where was it? This is the 2-hour one? Okay. Ban on Twitch. Is it this one? No.
Digital Storm workstations?
Not that one. Hold on. Thank you. I watched a video on it. I thought it'd be interesting to do again. Because I do multi-stream. So I don't know which one's going to be the best one to use if it's a multi-stream. Setup is just easier. And I have to redo all of my alerts. I'm getting away from Streamlabs. After learning more about Streamlabs, I can't believe I've been using it this long. See this one?
How long does it take you to plan a site structure? The answer is too long.
We gotta talk. I've been getting a lot of questions about this supposed OBS killer called Meld Studio.
I don't believe it's an OBS killer for sure.
Because Harris made a video on it recently, and it's got a lot of people asking, should you switch over to Meld Studio, or should you just stick to regular old OBS Studio? I actually already did a video on Meld like a year ago, and if you watch that video, I spoke pretty glowingly about Meld actually. It's got a really slick UI, tons of really cool features that you normally need a bunch of OBS plugins for. But I need you guys to slow down. Stop being cringe and paying full.
So also, what I learned that Meld is basically what Meld is going to do long term is it's going to have an editing software built into it that they're going to charge, subscription based for. So like it's going to record each camera independently, your game capture, your screen capture, your camera, and all of that independently. So even if you switch scenes, you could go back and maybe, if let's say I do this all the time. I switch scenes to a scene where I'm not, hey, hola. Like I switch scenes and it just shows my face, but I'm still gaming, and I didn't switch to the right scene, and I'm playing the game, and it's just showing my face. I'm sure you guys have seen me do this 100 times. With this built-in editing software to this OBS, you could basically go back into your VOD and edit that scene change to where that never happened. Potentially that's kind of cool. I don't know. Let's see.
And you're good to go. Check out VIP SSD keys in the link down below. This video is probably going to come across a lot harsher than I want it to be, both to the team at Meld and to Harris, because I
need it to be harsh.
love what the team at Meld is doing. Some of the things that drive me up the wall about OBS, Meld just does so much better. But I must admit, it really did surprise me that Harris really just mentioned one downside to Meld, because there's actually a lot of them. This isn't meant to be a call-out video, by the way.
I need to know every downside. As I'm sitting here looking, I mean, setting them both up, like having them both up and open, which I have not really done anything but import some of my settings from Streamlabs into OBS, just basically my scenes, nothing else really. Which not all of them are working perfectly. Yeah, they're there though, but they're there like for the most part. And I lost my font package, which really is stupid that I have to import a new font package somehow. But the Meld, all I did was open it and create 3 scenes from scratch, which was an intro, a close-up, which it does a fade into, which I don't like. I'm not sure why I'm that color. I really don't know why I'm that color. I don't even know what color that is. I thought it was normal. Now, all I did here was just add 2 scenes, and it automatically did the camera motion from one to the other, which I thought was sick, and I've learned, or at least heard, that in OBS, that is a lot to set up. I don't know. I haven't tried yet. I plan on doing that today. So I figured instead of sitting here not streaming for hours and hours and hours, while I was setting all this up, we could just do 2 birds with the same stone. Do 2 birds with the same stone. Okay. I'm not mad at this necessarily. I don't know. We'll see. I don't know exactly how long that takes to set up in here, but I'm about to find out.
Entertaining if you just start beefing with bigger creators. Logan Pauls, fight me, bro. I'll fuck you up. Know what I'm saying, son? So here's how this video is gonna work. I'm gonna be doing what I call the sandwich technique. I'm gonna start off with a few.
I don't like that one of them is putting this screen capture on this screen here. Which one is doing that? Let's just get rid of it for now. It was Meld. Okay.
Few compliments about Meld. Then I'll get into a few.
The compliment sandwich, a classic move. A classic move.
Then I'll finish it off
It's
with a few more.
Hot outside. Is that what you said? Let me see. I'm not feeling great, so I have my hoodie on. I feel like shit right now. I'm not sure why. I haven't felt good the last couple days. Pretty sure I'm just dying. It's fine. Electrolytes. I've been chugging. Don't worry. I've been chugging. Where did that go? Current temperature. I'm good. I'll stay right where I'm at
More complicated.
with my hoodie on.
It's a form of manipulation, which I'm an expert at, might I add. I really like how simple Meld's UI is. I'm a sucker for rounded corners, and Meld makes this so much easier. You just click in the corners and then you drag in.
I'm not big on rounded corners because I use not rounded corners. So I'm not really, I mean, I guess it could be cool. I have created hey yo, what's up? Sweat buddies. I've used a mask before in Streamlabs, and creating like a mask is a pain in the ass, I would think. I assume.
And boom, you have rounded corners. You can turn your camera into a circle in like literally seconds. It's so cool. If you want to add a drop shadow, you just add an effect, select drop shadow, and boom, you got drop shadows. You want to add an outline to your camera, you just add an effect, boom, you got outlines, baby. It's so easy. Adding a capture card to your canvas, cool. Here's a placeholder of where your capture card's going to be before you've actually even selected it. I love this Q button in the audio mixer. It makes it really easy to monitor your audio without having to go to this cringe menu like you have to do in OBS. It's got built-in move transition, built-in multi-streaming, built-in effects, all without needing any plugins. There's just a lot of really smart UX decisions that they've made all throughout the app, but there are a lot of hidden sacrifices that you'll have to make that aren't immediately obvious. And I mean a lot.
These are what I came to find out. Oh, Fats. Hey, what's up? Hello. Yeah, I know, right? I know. But there's still more I need to know. Because, like, before I go through setting all of this up with all of these, and then having, where was it at? This one, which, like I said, I spent maybe 5 minutes doing this. I realized I was going to be doing this for a while. Okay. And it did kind of take a weird load in, didn't there? But see, there's the thing. Watch the thing. When I did set this up, and I wasn't real happy with that. The only thing I haven't been able to find yet is that's one transition. And I'm not able to edit that individual transition independent of the other ones. There's only a global transition edit, not an actual. Is there one that just does? And what if I want it to be longer? If I went to like 2 minutes, 2 seconds, and it completely got rid of it? No, that's not bad. All right, that's not bad actually. I mean, it's not bad. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just learning.
For example, as far as
the stream brightness, especially for Faz, is dope. So I have that. My GPS does that by I mean my I have an NVIDIA. The NVIDIA overlay. I can adjust this brightness of a game independently of the game settings, which is just good for streaming in general, because even if the game doesn't have a max brightness that you guys can see, I can go through and adjust the brightness, not just for gameplay, but for, like, you know, to make it viewable. Because shit, I mean, Faz is so dark. Like, it's, if I don't use a flashlight, you can't even see the game when I'm streaming at all.
I can tell, there's no way to add VST.
Here's the other thing I don't like about this so far, is as an audio guy, I mean, like, I just now found in an OBS that it has equalizers, gates, compressors. Like, that's beautiful. Streamlabs just has like basic audio plugins. Like, there is a gain, there is you know, there's not an equalizer built into Streamlabs. OBS has a equalizer built in, which I found awesome. I was like, I can't wait to use an actual equalizer. And luckily, I have upgraded mics multiple times, and I run a bunch of outboard gear, so I have somewhat decent audio quality. But this right here is the only 3 audio plugins in Meld And I don't know what Magic Mike is. I haven't seen the movie. But I'm guessing it's just a magic wand that they wave, and that counts as a compressor, equalizer, gain, limiter, just smashed into one. That can't be good. There's no way that can be good.
Plugins to your microphone. A lot of people add EQ and compression to their mic to improve the quality of their voice, or add noise suppression to get rid of the background noise coming from your PC. This is something that's really easy to do in OBS. Meld only has 3 audio filters. One of them's a gain filter, and another one's a stereo panner. So really, there's only one audio filter that
magic
has
wand.
anything to do with making your voice sound better, and it's called Magic Mic. So who even knows what that's supposed to do?
Exactly.
If you want to set your resolution to anything other than the ones predefined in the settings, tough luck. You basically have no flexibility with your video settings.
How old is this video? Okay, this was 3 months ago. I saw another one from today.
The bit rate, and that's basically it. Lots of people also love the ability to dock things like Twitch chat right inside OBS, so they don't have to have a separate Chrome window open.
You know how many windows I have? I'm only streaming to YouTube, Kick, and Twitch tonight, and I have maybe half the windows open I normally do, and I still have 6 windows open plus OBS plus this.
Just to read Twitch chat, and that's not something you can do in Meld. If you have a stinger transition that you want to bring over from your OBS setup, Meld doesn't have any stinger transition support. And even if it did, there's no per scene transitions. So
that's the other thing I thought. Okay.
Pretty much are stuck with the same transition for all of your scenes. Want to remove your background without using a green screen? OBS has a built-in background removal feature. You don't have that in Meld. I can go on and on. The point is, there's a lot of really basic features that are just absent from Meld. So I did find it a little bit odd that
answers a lot of the questions I had pretty much right there. As far as it looks cool and it's new, but it's not the one I'll be using.
The only feature that Harris mentioned in his video was the lack of enhanced broadcasting. It kind of gave the impression that the only features missing in Meld were ones that advanced people use, but none of the features I mentioned were advanced features.
Yeah,
they're core features that a ton of people care about. Like, can we just be honest with ourselves? If Meld didn't have rounded corners, drop shadows, and built-in move transitions, would we really be paying attention to Meld? I know it sounds harsh.
No, that's fucking accurate. That's exactly what drew me towards it, is the ease of doing those things. Exactly the only thing. And then is this the... This was another feature, I thought.
Kind of collaboration is just never going to happen with Meld. Like, think of every single time that
let me go back.
Jump in the comment section and be like, background removal feature. You don't have that in Meld. I can go on and on. The point is, there's a lot of really basic features that are just absent from Meld. So I did find it a little bit odd that the only feature that Harris mentioned in his video was the lack of enhanced broadcasting. It kind of gave the impression that the only features missing in Meld were ones that advanced people use, but none of the features I mentioned were advanced features. They're core features that a ton of people care about. Like, can we just be honest with ourselves? If Meld didn't have rounded corners...
So that you can only use one transition globally. You can't set individual transitions for each scene. It's just that one transition is it. And if I wanted to switch to a different one, it would switch for every single scene. That's not exactly what I was looking for. Not that I want, like, my shit to go crazy, but just not repetitive is the word I'm looking for if I decide to switch scenes more than once a stream. Okay. I answered most of my questions. I don't think I'll be using it.
Shadows and built-in move transitions. would we really be paying attention to Meld? I know it sounds harsh. I feel so bad even saying that because it sounds so harsh, but it's true. I know your mind was blown when you saw that clip of like clicking to round corners. Like, don't lie, even I thought that was dope. And I know the team at Meld is watching this too, and you're probably gonna jump in the comments section and be like, oh, this is in the works, that feature's coming in the next update, that feature, oh yeah, that's on our roadmap. It's not just a lack of features. They can add all of the features that I just mentioned and then some, and I would still be hesitant to recommend switching over to Meld, because the reality is OBS is free, open source, and used by like 90% of streamers.
Yeah.
Meld is closed source software. That means the bulk of all development and all innovations that are going to be done for streaming are going to hit OBS first before they hit anyone else.
That's a good point. What else did he say? There's another one part in here. Is this the one I watched? No, there was a newer video.
The new enhanced broadcasting feature of OBS is a perfect example of this. This was a collaboration between OBS, Twitch, and Nvidia to provide 4K AV1 quality, multiple transcodes to every Twitch streamer. And that kind of collaboration is just never gonna happen with Meld. Like, think of every single time that Nvidia releases a new feature for streamers. The Nvidia noise suppression filter in OBS is insanely good, and that came to OBS first before it came to anyone else. Again, these are not niche.
I need to check out these filters. I need to check out these filters in OBS and see how many. I mean, which the ones do I need?
And welcome back to this U.S. Open office plan.
Miller just lobbed a message way over Jones's head using some tech.
A couple months ago, I made a video about this OBS alternative called Meld. It's basically OBS, but with a way cleaner UI. And my conclusion in that video...
I didn't give this video a like.
Step into
Like the videos you learn from.
Handle every part of your build from one platform.
A couple months ago, I made a video about this OBS alternative called Meld. It's basically OBS, but with a way cleaner UI. And my conclusion in that video was, as cool as Meld is, it's just missing too many things right now for me to seriously consider switching over to it from OBS. I was also very confused how they're making any money right now, considering Meld is completely free, yet they have millions of dollars invested into it.
So this is the part I was talking about earlier.
Meld saw that video and they wanted to set the record straight. So I set up an interview with the CEO, Joel Compiles, which is a sick last name because he's like a developer and his last name is Compiles. It's probably not his last name. If it is, it's probably pronounced like Compiles.
Nutty's funny as fuck.
Anyway, I just asked him straight up, and he revealed some things that Meld is working on that nobody else is doing right now. Not even OBS. I'll upload the full interview alongside this one if you just want to nerd out and watch videos about broadcasting software for 2 hours. But for this video, I'm just going to cut through the fluff, and at the end, I'll tell you whether my opinions on Meld have changed now that I know this new information, or if I think it's just vaporware that you shouldn't bother with. Stop being cringe and paying full price for Windows with our sponsor, VIP SD Keys. You can get a Windows 11 license for as low as $21. Just use my code NUTTY at checkout to get them for 30% off. And if you want to get them for a little bit cheaper, you can get a Windows 10 key for $15, and those can be updated to Windows 11 completely for free. You can pay using a secure payment method like PayPal. They'll send you an activation code immediately, and then you can put that in your Windows settings, and you're good to go. Check out VIP SD Keys in the link down below. Let's get the most important question out of the way first that you probably want to know. Will Meld ever start charging money? It's a legitimate question. Meld is a real company with a pretty sizable investment behind it, so they have to make money somehow, and right now they're not making any because Meld is completely free to use. But we've seen this before. How many times have we...
I feel like something like this with OBS being free, and if you have a paid subscription plan in the future, that's going to tank your shit already. Even with the idea they have of how they plan on doing this editing shit, which is sick, that if that was the only portion of it that is monetized or subscription based, and then you pay for just that one feature alone, and it is OP for sure. Like it would have to be so OP to like even be an option, and it better be cheap as shit That's what I'm saying. Like, otherwise, I don't see the point.
We've seen companies that start out free, but then once they get people invested, bam, they start charging a monthly fee. So I just asked them that.
Yeah, so what people are concerned about is what I would call like the bait and switch method. That's an approach that I don't
Go away, baiting.
think would work. We're never going to take away things that are free.
What movie,
We're
go?
going to clearly communicate whenever we have something that's paid. It'll be clear from a distance. And we're not doing these things with bad intentions, right? We're not going to like box you out of anything or like prevent you from, you know.
Every time I see a startup tech company talking about stuff like this, it makes me think of Silicon Valley, which is like an amazing show. It sucks that it ended the way that it did and how it ends like in the middle. But every time you can't say for sure what your company's going to do when it no longer is controlled by you.
Doing anything or any of these tactics that like companies do that people hate, right?
To be like super clear on monetization, like everything that's free right now is going to continue to be free, and you have no intentions of taking anything away and making it paid. That's
yeah. We're never going to rug pull. We're never going to take things away that are free, and it will be clear from a long.
Those are
distance,
bold
like, what we're gonna
statements.
charge for.
And look, that sounds nice and all, but I'm very familiar with CEO speak. That really doesn't answer the question, because what he said was everything Meld does now will be free, but what about future features? What are they going to add in the future that OBS doesn't already do for free, and which of those features are going to cost you money? This is where things get really interesting.
We're not competing with OBS. We're basically going to be competing with every piece of video software in this space, from DaVinci Resolve to Final Cut Pro to CapCut. We see a really, really big opportunity to combine capture and edit workflows into one tool. What we've been kind of working on all along is the ability to
coming after DaVinci.
record everything as isolated and record all the events that happen on stream. Meaning, anytime you adjusted the audio fader, anytime you clicked transition, anytime you toggled something on or off, we'll record all these events with timestamps. Now at the end of your recording or your stream, you'll see it all on a timeline, and everything will be isolated recordings, even things that are off.
This is sick, because even I haven't found a way to do this on anything else. I don't think there's anything else that's doing this where you can, unless you have a camera that records independently of your OBS. It's like you have a camera that records onto like a hard drive or memory stick, and then that's the only way I know of to get a recording of two separate video inputs into OBS. Like, there's not a way to do. I mean, maybe I'm just unknowledgeable of that.
Screen. So if you transition from scene A to scene B and your game was in the other scene and you weren't quite happy with the timing and you want to do a slightly different edit, then you'll be able to just bring it back. Even things that are off screen will be recorded.
So basically what they're planning on doing is adding a video editing component to Meld alongside the streaming functionality that already exists. The streaming component, which is all that Meld is right now, that part is going to remain free, but it's the video editing portion of Meld, which they haven't added yet, but when they add that in, that's going to be the part that's going to be paid. And I got to be honest, that sounds insane. Why would anyone use Meld's video editor when you can just download DaVinci Resolve for free, which is, by the way, what I use to edit all my YouTube videos, and it's awesome. I mean, it's one thing to...
Which I need to re-download, because after my... Yo, what's up, Saf? I'm definitely going to re-download, because I've been trapped in the Adobe pyramid scheme trap thief money stealer for like a year, thanks to my little bro. No offense, little bro. I know you didn't do it on purpose, but I'm finally free of Adobe.
Compete with OBS, but now they're saying that they want to compete with DaVinci Resolve and Final Cut.
Yeah, what's up?
That's like saying, oh no, we're not trying to box Floyd Mayweather. We're just trying to fight Goku like directly.
It is a cool feature, but I just don't know, like
Goku, like the best version. Yeah, we're trying to fight that.
It's
but
big sights.
This might sound crazy. I actually see where they're going with this. One of the features I've always wanted in OBS for years is the ability to record your gameplay and camera at the same time. But imagine if you can record both your gameplay and your camera into a single video file the same way you can record MP4 files that have.
Yo, thank you, Ernesto, for the subscribe. This is what I've been trying to do for a while too, and the only way I think you can actually do it is if you have a camera that records independently. Same, I'm on Adobe School, but I need to get more familiar with DaVinci. I used to use DaVinci for years, and then my bro was going to college for video editing, and he asked me to if I paid for Adobe for him, I could use it too. We'll both use it, and I would pay for Adobe. And then he didn't realize, the malicious practices of Adobe, that when he signed up for the monthly, it was a monthly payment, but he was locked into a year. And if he tried to get out of it, what's up, Frozen? Thank you for the follow. If he tried to get out of it, it was like a $200 something, and it was on my credit card. So I was like, man, just let it roll. I'll use it for a year if I see how much I actually use it or don't use it. I did use it a lot. I used DaVinci Resolve more. But like after learning Adobe, I did use it. But then you can, it auto renews. I went down this whole rabbit hole of what happened to Adobe and what they did, and now I just don't. Out of disgust, I don't ever want to use it again. But DaVinci Resolve was always what I used before all of this started. And then I always wanted to record. Even though I'm using all digital equipment, my camera separate than my gameplay on 2 separate video tracks. And my audio broken out like this on separate tracks, and there was not a way to do that I found without using a camera that recorded audio independently or video independently. So you had like a memory card on your camera. There was no way to do it that I found, and essentially this OBS would do that. But I'm imagining it's going to be a paid service. But he gets into it more here.
Audio tracks. MP4 technically already supports multiple video tracks, but the thing is, there's no way to actually make those types of files in OBS, and even if you could, you can't actually import them into DaVinci Resolve anyway. So trust me, I've tried. It doesn't work.
By the way, I've been comparing like the Vision to like an SVG, right? Or a PSD, right? Mm-hmm. It'll be the PSD for video. That's the big idea. Someone sends you a logo today.
Ernesto, a lot of the shortcuts for Resolve and Adobe are the same, which is kind of nice. It's maybe just a slightly bit off, but all the functions, the core functions, are essentially the same. There was a bit of a learning curve for me going from Resolve to Adobe. I imagine it'd be a small one going back, but I'm the kind of guy like with anything with something new, I just Google every single shortcut. As soon as I want to know how to do something, I know I'm going to do that specific keystroke more than once. I just start writing down and looking at every single shortcut, because that's like you have to know shortcuts to do anything. I'm an audio guy by background, so it's like the first time I had Pro Tools opened up on my computer, it was like one of our tests in class was to know every shortcut in Pro Tools. This is back when like Pro Tools 10 was out, so I imagine the newer Pro Tools versions I would have no idea what all the shortcuts are.
With JPEG, you say send me the PSD so I can edit it. You want to get all the layers, and you want to be able to move things around, and you want really the vectorized representation of what that is.
Yep.
Doesn't exist for video. Everything today, when you record video, you get the equivalent of a JPEG. It's flattened down.
Yep.
Everything that's layered is flattened down. That's what every piece of software gives you.
Apart from audio,
that will always be free. Like we're not going to charge you for that. But we think when you see what you can do in our editor, and when you experience this, you'll pay for it.
Honestly, this sounds super cool. Imagine streaming on Twitch like normal. Meanwhile, in the background, Meld is automatically grabbing a clean recording of your gameplay.
This is all I've wanted for a long time, is a full recording of independent of my gameplay of my camera. A full recording of my gameplay independent of my camera. Full recording of my camera independent of my gameplay, and then both of them together. Like, this is all I've wanted for a minute. But I think he brings up a very good point here. And then, hold on, okay, yep.
And your camera, and your stream, and then at the end of your stream, you get to see a full timeline of everything that happened. Every time you switch scenes, every time you toggled on and off your camera, and if there's a moment where you want to grab your full face cam, it's already on the timeline. Or that example Joel used. Imagine something happened on your gameplay scene, but you forgot to change scenes because you're still in your just chatting screen. Well, you'd be able to just go back and retime your transitions in post.
I can't tell you how many times I've been streaming and realized I didn't have the camera on my gameplay and was just recording my face. I'm notorious for that. And then somebody eventually be like, I only see your face or a camera, and then I'll go back and switch. But I'm switching Saf, I'm switching from Streamlabs for the first time in like 3 years. I've used Streamlabs for like 3 years. So right now I have which I have OBS opened up, and I have most of my, not every setting, just the core settings I wanted to have into here. And one of the reasons I used Streamlabs for so long was because if you don't have 1,000 followers on TikTok, Streamlabs was partnered with TikTok to be able to, stream to TikTok without 1,000 followers, but you had to pay, for the ultra premium package of Streamlabs to do that. And now I've learned that, with Streamlabs, I learned a lot about Streamlabs in the last couple of years. I learned that Streamlabs has pretty much stolen all their shit from other places, and is like has, I don't know, maybe not the best company in the world. And then also with that, I no longer have to, now that I have more than 1,000 followers on TikTok, I don't have to pay for Streamlabs to multi-stream anymore. I can stream for free to every platform instead of paying Streamlabs $20 a month to be able to stream to one platform extra than normal. So I was looking at this other platform that I found when I was looking at switching to OBS. I just came across Meld, and I wanted to learn more about it. So that's kind of what I've been going on these videos, and I figured as much as I learned already, I would kind of share. I'm not recording anymore. That's fine. All right. So I figured, and I know the color looks bad. My colorblind ass does not know how to fix this. I will fix it later. But anyway, this was Meld, and this is their basic shit. This is their, this took 2 seconds to set up, which I learned is not the easiest thing to do. I will let you know. I'll absolutely let you know. I can tell you right now, straight off the rip, that the audio quality, the settings, the plugins, everything so far is way better than Streamlabs ever has been. And the fact that I can go stream and independently start or stop streaming to multiple platforms instead of just being locked to either starting or stopping. So I can actually add YouTube in whenever I want. I can be streaming and go, okay, let's start streaming to YouTube. Let's stop streaming to YouTube so I can then raid on Twitch, which is something I didn't do a lot of raids before, or or hosting on Kick or Twitch, because I'm connected to every platform and I can't just stop streaming to TikTok and stop streaming to YouTube and stop streaming to all these other platforms just so I can show one platform still going. Now I can independently stop them as I needed, and that's something you cannot do with Streamlabs. It's pretty easy to use for creating settings. I know the struggle for Streamlabs. I'll let you know. I mean, as far as I imported a lot of my scenes straight from kind of the basics, but I didn't want to bring in too much. I wanted to basically start from scratch. So along with that, I've been kind of learning a little bit about these other ones.
Would already have a clean recording of both your gameplay and your just chatting scenes. This is something that you just straight up can't do in OBS right now, and I actually think it's a super cool idea. I know it sounds like I'm being way more positive.
I do like the idea of recording your video, a full track of your video of your camera, independently of a full track of your gameplay, and then a full track of all of them combined. That way you can go back and edit and change if you need to. But right now, you can create a file like that. There's just nothing that can open the file and use it. Yo, Nesto, thank you for the follow, Nesto. What it do? So yeah, I like what he says about Meld here, and he does interview the 2-hour live stream with the CEO and shit. But I just don't think Meld is going to be what I'm using. As easy as it was to set up, and as easy as it was to create, very quickly create a where to go? I closed it. I know that this is going to be much harder to set this up than it was to set this very quickly. I mean, this was very quick and easy to set up. I had all my accounts logged into pretty quickly. I was able to start on my scenes, and then the camera switching, which it did here, was instant and automatic. Having a drop shadow, having the camera, the movement scenes, having a mirrored setup in case I want to switch to the other side. This was all like, took minutes. However, this program does not do everything that I'm looking for it to do. And the mic settings, as far as the Meld go, is just one one setting they call Magic Mic, which is probably like a overlay of a noise gate, a compressor, and an EQ just mashed into one that's like presets. And I'm not a big fan of that. As an audio guy, I want to be able to control all of my stuff independently. I want to control my compressor. I want to look at my EQ. I want to see my EQ's, actual usage. This is crap to me. I don't like this at all. There are some cool features about it, but I don't plan on using it. And then, what it does have, which is what they're gonna do, but it's gonna have they're gonna have Meld is gonna have where you can record your camera, your gameplay, and your scenes independently, but they're gonna charge for that.
About Meld in this video compared to the last video, but this is different. They paid me a lot of money and stuff, and
this guy fucking cracks me up, bro.
Opened up that briefcase. Know what I'm saying? Now I gotta backpedal and figure out how I can take back all those negative things I said about Meld. Yeah, a lot of you guys actually thought Meld was really paying off creators to say nice things about them.
Other creator person, but who I won't name because it always turns out bad when I mention other people's names. They were saying he was clearly paid, blah blah blah. Do you want to just clarify that?
No, he wasn't paid. Of course he wasn't paid. It's the same thing as with you.
Hey, I'll tell you, Seth, if you like Streamlabs and it works for you, I mean, that's the only reason I used Streamlabs was to you could multi-stream in OBS for free. You can't multi-stream in Streamlabs for free, which pissed me off. And I always intended on multi-streaming. I was always going to stream to multiple platforms since day one. So I, from day one, went with Streamlabs, and from day one, I've been paying for Streamlabs for 2 years now. And with that, I was like, it's just an added overhead of everything else I pay for to stream. So I started, looking at other options. I've been trying to set up and go to OBS. And now that I, have the amount of, followers on TikTok I needed, with Streamlabs partnering with TikTok and you being able to go stream to TikTok without 1,000 followers was a kind of an incentive for me. There's a lot of people that you can get to your other platforms from live streaming to TikTok. They see you on TikTok. They go to YouTube. They go to Twitch. They go to Kick. It's an avenue that was very beneficial and worth, at the time, paying, the $15 a month to stream to, multi-streaming through Streamlabs with. Now that I've achieved that, 1,000 followers on TikTok, I don't have to have Streamlabs to keep multi-streaming. I can just set up my OBS to do it instead, and I don't have to sit there and pay Streamlabs $15-16 a month just to do the same thing I can do for free somewhere else.
So unless Joel...
And, from what I can already tell, 5 minutes into it, Streamlabs is way better. OBS is way better than Streamlabs as far as, audio quality, video quality, plugins. Everything so far is just... I can't believe I haven't been using this.
Straight up lied to my face. No. Meld didn't pay anyone off, including me. You guys need to chill. Stop trying to create drama when there's no drama. This isn't a moist critical video. Okay, just chill. Anyway, yeah, so this video editing component of Meld is going to be the only part that's paid. The streaming component of Meld as it exists today is and always will be free. And yes, I did ask for a third time just to make sure. Even future features of the streaming component will remain free.
Are there any features specifically relevant to live streaming that would become paid?
No, we don't have any plans for it. Honestly, we never really had plans to do the widgets, and we thought it'd be an interesting way to try it out.
So if you're not interested in this mythical video editing component of Meld when that actually does come out, and you purely want to use Meld as a replacement for OBS, you'll always be able to do that. As far as how much the video editing component is going to cost, he didn't mention anything other than it will probably be a subscription model.
Would that be a subscription-based thing? Do you have any plans on that?
Most likely.
There's a whole lot more that we talked about in the full interview. Again, if you're a giant nerd for broadcasting software,
I will be watching the full 2-hour interview at some point just to know all the other stuff. But
go watch it.
Through that, so we were talking about the Adobe thing. Where was it? What video did I watch that was about Adobe? What's it called? Predatorial? Can I spell? I don't think I can. My brain's not in the predatory practices. What did I watch? Hold on. Was it this guy? I like how I searched. Maybe I just spelled predatory wrong. Predatorial. And it just gives me why millions are deleting Adobe. FTC lawsuit explained. This is only less than a year ago. This is why I'm also getting back into DaVinci Resolve along with. Okay, can I watch the video? Okay.
Imagine being able to build anything just by.
So as I was going down this road of not using Streamlabs anymore, which I've been using to, like, you know,
Adobe is the world's leader.
I stream in vertical to YouTube just to do shorts. Because I don't want to go back and edit everything. Now, while Meld does a vertical option that you can instantly cut into shorts, which I think Streamlabs does not, I know there's a way to set it up in OBS too, so I don't really need to stream vertical to YouTube anymore. So along with that, I don't really need Adobe anymore. And I'm going back to using DaVinci Resolve, which is free. But in the whole path of, you know, going down this rabbit hole of making all these switches to my stream setup and all the plugins and OBS, I kind of already knew this, but didn't know all of this about Adobe.
Software. Their software powers everything from Hollywood blockbusters to your favorite YouTube videos. But beneath the surface, there's a darker story. The company's practices are so controversial that even the US government has sued Adobe. This is why Adobe is one of the most evil companies on the planet. This video is brought to you by my startup, Silos 7.
Just to kind of a preface of this is the things I found out that Adobe did, and in case you don't want to watch the whole shit anyway, that I did know about. I already knew about the, you know, if you sign up for the wrong, you know, Adobe package, that you're locked in for a year, and if you try to get out, they're going to charge you $200-$300 to get out of, you know, a subscription model that isn't month to month. It says, oh, pay monthly, but you click the button, and the next thing you know, like, you can't get out of it without paying $300. I got signed up for that through my brother. No, he didn't know. It wasn't his fault. We just, you know, he wanted to use it. I said, I'll pay for it. Next thing I know, I was like, hey, neither one of us are really using it. Go ahead and, you know, cancel it. And it's like, yeah, we can't cancel it for at least a year. And I was like, well, fuck it. Let's just use it for the year then. After that, I didn't know that it auto renews, and there's no way to shut off an auto renew for it. They just no matter what, it just auto renews. You have to physically wait for it to be up that month and go cancel it that month. It just has an auto. It has no way to turn off auto renew on it. It automatically auto renews no matter what. And then the other thing I didn't know was anything that you put on as a creator, anything you put on their cloud service, they have full access to using, including stealing. The fuck?
1.39% yielding bond accounts. First, what does Adobe do? In short, Adobe makes creative software. Photoshop, Illustrator, After Effects, and about a dozen more iconic staple programs all come from Adobe. Despite their
now, if there's a something else people use besides Photoshop, let me know either in the comments or in the chat. Let me know, because I don't know what the other Photoshop options are that are easy to use and high quality. I might just continue to pay the $15 a month for Photoshop, which is crazy. But like again, I said, they use all your your photos, they can just take that shit whenever they want. If it's not on their cloud, not on your drives, if it's uploaded to their cloud.
Drama, things used to be very different. Many years back, you could actually buy Photoshop along with all of their other products. You could pick up a physical disc in store, install it,
Yep.
and
I remember the day that programs went to subscription-based models, because a lot of audio plugins and programs that I use for like Pro Tools, Cubase, you buy these VST plugins and then you'd buy the package for like a couple $1,000s and you could use them. And then 3 or 4 years later, they would have newer versions of them and you could upgrade for like a half or third of the price and get newer models of the same software you were using. And then it just all went to subscription-based. And then you no longer own the programs. You're just licensing them. And this is just insane to me. It's just insane to me that I get it for like the updates and shit, but I just want to own a copy of just a basic copy of Photoshop and just use it and not pay for it every month for the rest of my life. This is why people go back to using pirated software.
At around $700, but once you bought it, you owned that copy of Photoshop. Also, you could upgrade to the newest version for only $200. People loved Adobe's products. They were the best. The company had an amazing reputation, but all of this was about to change. At some point, Adobe's executives realized something. They could make much more money if they overhauled their business model. Have you noticed how almost every digital product or service is now a subscription? This is called software as a service, meaning you pay regularly to use the software instead of buying it outright, and Adobe was one of the first to adopt it. Someone might spend more at once on buying their Creative Suite for $2,000, but this method has a massive downside. Getting a customer to make such a massive purchase is extremely difficult. But a subscription for the same product at a fraction of that price is much easier to digest. People rarely factor in the distant future and end up paying more than they would have if they just bought the expensive package to start with.
I paid for Adobe Premiere Pro and Photoshop and After Effects for 1 year after signing up for it through this right here. I think he gets into it right here. After the button was clicked by, as I said, my little brother bought it so we could both use it. Didn't know you couldn't get out of it. After clicking the button, I was locked into using it for 1 year at $85 a month. I could cancel for $350.
Completely stopped selling products that you could own. You could no longer buy Photoshop. Instead, they began licensing products you could lease. Their revenue began to soar as they added hundreds of millions every quarter. But they also gained something else. With a subscription, you're paying Adobe to use their software. They own the license, which means they have all the power. They can change anything they want whenever they feel like it, and this is where all the problems started. Adobe soon began sending strange letters to customers using previous versions of their software, stating, "We have recently discontinued certain older versions of Creative Cloud applications, and as a result, under the terms of our agreement, you are no longer licensed to use them. Please be aware that should you continue to use the discontinued versions, you may be at risk of potential claims of infringement by third parties." These were Creative Cloud subscribers.
It's basically saying you don't have the license to use that software anymore, so it can be called basically pirating like not using their software. Let's say 2015 Flash infringement by third parties.
Hadn't updated their software
Oh
in
shit.
a while. Adobe never explained the full reasoning behind these threats, but naturally this upset a lot of people. Yet, this isn't why Adobe is being sued by the US government. The reason behind that is much worse. Adobe offers Creative Cloud through an annual or monthly subscription, and they...
Yeah, this is what I think this is one my brother clicked right here. I think it's this one. No? I'm not sure which one it was. Cancel anytime, fees applied. Maybe it was this one. I'm not sure.
Even offer a 7-day trial, but things aren't as they seem. If you sign up for this trial, it says paid monthly, except it's not a monthly subscription. It's a yearly subscription that's billed monthly.
Yeah.
Adobe does offer a monthly subscription at $90 a month, subtly encouraging users to take the cheaper monthly option.
Which
But
my brother
this
did.
is a trap.
You know, you
If
wouldn't know.
sign up
How would you
and
know?
Continue past 14 days, you're locked in, and Adobe will do everything in their power to keep you there. How? With their dreaded cancellation fee. Hidden in their fine print, if you want to cancel your subscription, you will need to pay 50% of your remaining subscription upfront, which is oftentimes hundreds of dollars. And Adobe isn't very transparent about this. Users who unsubscribe are surprised to see Adobe charge them hundreds of dollars, seemingly out of nowhere. People have been experiencing Adobe's greed for years. Adobe ripped me off for $60 after I signed up for a free trial, proceeded to cancel the trial, and then got charged for the product anyway. Adobe tried to...
I think a lot of people sign up for subscription-based shit, and then they get charged, and they try to get their way out of it, which I'm sure they do, and they also try to like change their card numbers or whatever else, and it never works. As soon as I realized it was a cancellation fee of $350 to cancel it, I just used it for the remainder of the year and didn't bitch about it or complain, because obviously we agreed to it. It's not that big of a fucking deal. But that's not even like the reason I probably won't use that shit ever again. I think it was their stealing work from creators.
With this lawsuit, there's actually an entirely different scandal surrounding Adobe at the exact same time. Believe it or not, they're in hot water for something much worse. In the past several years, big tech has jumped headfirst into the AI boom, and Adobe is no different. They've been integrating AI images into their own stock portfolio, but
you have to feed AI something, right? They're feeding it your shit.
AI, Firefly, one very similar to Midjourney or DALL-E, but also integrates into Photoshop and other programs. The only issue is that AIs need data for machine learning, lots of it. So Adobe weaseled in hidden terms into the Creative Cloud with horrible implications. Adobe had very subtly changed their terms that granted them full access to users' local content. And most bafflingly of all, they included that...
Okay, this one, I think they changed it after the fact. Okay, let me back up a second here. We can access, view, or listen to your content defined in this section below through both automated and manual method, but only in limited ways and only as permitted by law. For example, in order to provide the service and software, we may need to access, view, or listen to your content. Detect, prevent, otherwise address fraud, legal, security, technical issues. Our automated systems may analyze your content and Creative Cloud custom fonts using techniques such as machine learning in order to improve our services. This one doesn't really say whether the content has to be on the cloud or on your actual machine.
Local content. And most baffling,
but I think they changed it after they got in trouble.
They had a non-exclusive, worldwide, royalty-free
in perpetuity. That means forever. It means forever.
Licensable license to use, reproduce, publicly display, and much more. Adobe basically decided that taking your money wasn't good enough. They wanted to own your assets, your creations, everything. Adobe could view your local files and do what they wished, but users caught on very quickly.
Our access to your content. We may access, view, or listen to your content through both automated and manual methods. And then down here it says, our automated systems may analyze your content in Creative Cloud customer fonts, which are defined over there, using techniques such as machine learning in order to improve our services and software and the user experience.
Not only was this unethical training for their AI, but it also came with all kinds of implications. This is especially concerning for users and companies who use NDAs to protect their work, like those working on films or commercial space. Adobe was trying to override everything, and the backlash was huge. A worldwide boycott of Adobe began, with many major news outlets weighing in on the story. Some artists began uploading nightshade art to Creative Cloud, a way of intentionally misleading and poisoning machine learning. Adobe insisted that Firefly was ethically trained, but the evidence was clear. And following the enormous backlash, Adobe quickly changed their terms. They outlined in their new terms,
Okay, so then they changed it to... We need to access your content as necessary to operate the services. We limit access to very specific purposes. Review content for illegal types of content, such as child sexual abuse material, abusive content or behavior. So what if you're filming a movie that has something in it that doesn't, align with what this machine learning would think it was? Automated services flag for potential content to confirm if it's illegal or abusive. We don't scan or review content that is stored on your local device. We only train generative AI models on your or your customers' content unless you've submitted it to the Adobe stock market. That's not what it said in the first one. It's not even close to what it said in the first one. It's not what it said at all.
Content that is stored locally on your device. We also don't train generative AI models on your or your customers' content unless you've submitted the content to the Adobe stock marketplace. A good change, but they've only done so because they were caught doing just that. But they're not out of the clear just yet. You might have caught the last part of that statement about the Adobe stock marketplace. This was once a prestigious resource for artists and professionals, but it is now flooded with AI with its own consequences. Brian Kessinger, a lead artist at Disney, found AI copies of his work in the marketplace with his name falsely attached to it. While this has increased the breadth of Adobe stock catalog of stock photos, it's hard to say.
I'd be pissed. I'd be pissed if I was a, digital artist and you just using paying monthly, way too much money paying monthly to use a program that is like overcharging you anyway, and then they're using their AI to steal your work. That's just outrageous. I found that while I was looking for OBS stuff, and yep, so I'm going back to DaVinci Resolve after that now. I do like using Photoshop, even though I don't really know how to use it very well. I'm not an expert whatsoever, but I do like using it, and I don't think I'll okay, the dog moved. Good. All right, so I need to look at how to set up the exact settings I want in my... I'm just going to start just mass downloading plugins and just seeing what this thing can do.
Go into the Fold and turn website layouts into an art form with Wix Studio.
You guys know that I don't keep any secrets on my stream. That's literally why I started this YouTube channel, so I can show you guys everything about how my stream is set up, and then you can get some inspiration, go away, and create something unique for your own stream. Or, you could just straight up rip off my stream. Thief. One of the things that I use to...
No, I like my shit, like, just nothing on it. I like a bare bones bullshit. I don't like anything except what I have to have.
Create my advanced stream layouts in OBS are plugins. And basically what a plugin does is it adds extra features to OBS that it doesn't have by default. I'm going to show you guys 5 of the plugins that I use to create.
This is one of the first ones I want.
Right now, the plugin is called Move Transition. Now, shout out to the random dude who left a YouTube comment. He's the guy who made this, and I would never have even known about this plugin if he didn't tell me about it. Now, you're probably aware that in OBS, you can set up a bunch of different transitions so that when you switch between scenes, you can have like a boring cut transition or fade transition. Or if you're fancy, you probably set up a custom stinger transition, which I made a tutorial for. Go check that out. But
maybe one day.
If you wanted to animate,
maybe one day,
your scene transition. So let's just say you have 2 scenes, one that you have your big camera and then another where you have your small camera, and when you switch between them, you want to animate your camera so that shrinks down. That's what Move Transition does. It just adds a new option in your scene transitions menu called Move, and then every single time that you switch between scenes, it will animate every single source in your scene composition. Okay, time out, Nutty. I've already seen this before. You covered that in your first video. First of all, watch your language. Second of all, kind of. See, the plugin that was in the first video was a different plugin called Motion Effect, and it kind of does pretty much the same thing, but check this out. I'm going to play a transition that used Motion Effect, then I'm going to play a transition that uses this new Move Transition plugin, and you can just see how much smoother this new plugin is than the old one. So how do we set this up? First, go to your scene transitions, click the plus button, and you'll see a new option there called Move. From there, the properties...
Was it 3? What was the which one move was it? Let's say the Epic World Music. Move Transition OBS project source. Is that the one I had on my 3.15, that is it. Okay. Let's add that. What's up, YouTube? Hello. This is gonna be for Windows. Zip. Bam. That's okay. That's weird. Hold on. I did not. Oh yeah, I think the new OBS I had was accidentally recording 2C. Hey Sabrina, I'm feeling better. I don't know what was wrong yet. I'm alive. Let's just say that. I don't feel like I'm going to die today. So, powering through. User program files. Yeah. Making space for you. I just lose connection and reconnect. I think I did. Weird. Thank you, Sabrina Mate. Let's see. Videos. What's today? Today is not. Day 24th? What day is it? It is. Yeah, I don't know. You recorded into the wrong hard drive, buddy. Delete. Also, why is that? Live clips. Gosh, there's so much. Yeah, all this stuff should not be going here. It should be going somewhere else. I'll transfer it all later. Okay. I don't believe you. Let's see. Disk space, clear disk space, clear it. I don't believe you. There's no way this is that big of a file. Hold on. I'm just gonna have to clear this whole drive real quick. We're redoing everything from scratch anyway. We're gonna lose some shit in the process. I was always aware of that. I mean, do I need all of these videos? I'll just move them real quick. Thinking about saving. I did install my new hard drive today. So there's much more space. It's just all been condensed to one because I'd install another one. Move everything over to there. Boom, 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 boom. Move quickly. And you're done. What was that? Oh, that was only 10 gigs. Yeah, just 10 gigs. No big deal. Okay, you're done. Now we just delete all of this. You need to be deleted. You were going to be deleted. I don't know why you won't be deleted. And I know why you don't want to be deleted. Because the folder is open in another program. It technically is not. I would have to go somewhere else to fix that. That's fine. That should work now. Install the move function and then set it up. Yes, empty. Recycle bin. Refresh. Oh, look. Now you want to work. Yes. 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 Finish. All right. And now I should be able to go back to OBS, close it, reopen it. And under my transitions tab, I should have move now. Hey, look, there it is. Sweet. That was not bad. Okay. That's one.
Streamlabs OBS, so don't ask me. Now, if you want to browse a list of every single plugin currently available for OBS, I'll leave a link in the description box down below. You can browse through the list. There's a few pages of them. The process of installing each plugin usually varies depending on who made the plugin, but generally speaking, you usually download a zip file. You go to where your OBS install is, and then you just unzip the zip file right on top. The zip file will usually contain a data folder and an OBS plugins folder, which match the root folder of your OBS install. So all you need to do is merge those folders and then relaunch OBS. That is the basics out of the way. Let's move on to the list. We're gonna hit it off with my all-time favorite plugin. Actually, are we? Maybe I should leave this one to the end. That way people have to watch my video a lot.
All right, spectralizer, OBS shader filter, closed captioning, royalty-free music. That's a clutch one to have. Capture your gameplay. Ooh, move transition. Full list of plugins. I'm sure there's a shit ton. Just around a few thousand. It's all right. I like that they're ranked. Advanced masks, composite blur. I'm not even sure what I will need and won't need until I actually go to using it. Let's see. This is so much better already than fucking Streamlabs. It's insane. It is so much better than Streamlabs. I'm just so grateful. I can't believe I haven't done this before. I'm too bright. Too bright. I mean, half the stuff I don't know what I'm doing. I should probably reach out to one of my friends as like a videographer or something that someone that has done something with movie and camera quality shit. I mean, it already looks better than I had it before. Let's see. Is there a folder in the background? They got a dog sleeping in the flight deck. Oh, hydrate. I will. Wanted to let you know I'm still here. Just lurking. Oh, I'm glad. Thank you for lurking. I'm doing a lot here. So now that I know for sure which OBS I'll be working with, I'm going to start. Just first thing I want to do is get it functional. So everything I had working on Streamlabs at a base, I want that working in OBS immediately. And then from there, I'm going to start slowly adding things that...
You've been promoted.
A rogue for the 8-month resub. Stuff like that. Like that that sound effect, that alert settings, those are not going to just transfer over by default into OBS. So like that's something I had to set up on Streamlabs on their dashboard in Streamlabs, and then upload my own audio. Pick the font of that alert, pick the sound it made, pick the color. I'll have to do all of that over again for OBS. For every platform: YouTube, Twitch, TikTok, Kick, Facebook, I mean, anyone I intend on streaming on to again. Thank you for the 8-month resub, Rogue. Glad you've been here for 8 months. What's crazy is I've only been affiliated for 8 months, so that means you're a day oneer. I appreciate you. Already, with very little adjustments, the quality of the chroma key is 10 times better than anything I ever get with Streamlabs. Let's just say that. I don't know what that does, but it looks better than anything I have up here. Let's see. Let me just bring them up next to each other for reference. That's not a bad idea. Let me just go ahead and show each one side by side as I'm using them. All right, so the current filters I'm using. All right, so another thing is, okay, I'm adjusting this picture here, and I'm adjusting this picture here. Let's turn all this other stuff off, and let's just go with what we're looking at. Oh my god. Oh my god, Streamlabs, what are you doing? Okay, so these two have the exact same camera, the exact same settings at the moment. Hello, countryman. Thank you for joining me in an OBS swap. We're doing a full OBS swap. Okay, now I just realized my camera on the stream is gonna look bad now because I just turned off a bunch of shit. But essentially, this is them side by side. I'm not using presets or anything, so you can't even make the picture bigger here. Like, even if you make the window bigger, the picture doesn't get bigger. It stays that size. Do you know how hard it is to adjust the quality of an image when it's at like this size? Like it's no matter how big you put it, the picture doesn't get any larger. That always kind of pissed me off. It really did. Just looking at the quality of this one, I mean, that's night and day. I mean, it's beautiful. Now, it did bring over all of my images or all of my settings from. Okay, so I guess I did something right the first time. Let's see. So I'll just add on sharpen, which it doesn't seem to really do anything, and it's on a 0 setting. So we're just gonna leave that off. I'm gonna bring over color correction at the same time. So that made me a lot darker here, and it did add some darkening here. I guess that looks somewhat good. What is it doing exactly? These are the things I don't know about. How's the day going? Are you a Kick streamer? I am on Kick. Yes, I am right now. From what I can tell, just by switching to OBS, I'm going to be saving a lot of usage on my CPU. I know that when I'm streaming on Streamlabs, that I get warnings consistently through my streams. I do multi-stream to as many platforms as I can. Usually YouTube, Twitch, Kick, TikTok, and sometimes Facebook all at the same time. And throughout my streams, I get constant warnings of high CPU usage, which is probably not good for the long term. Okay, I'm not sure these settings. I would not want to mess with because I'm not sure if I even did this or I had somebody that's not colorblind do this for me. So I'd rather not start messing with this shit. And I don't think I need any of that. Just the interface alone. I'm happy with how my picture looks now here in OBS. I'm ecstatic with that. I'm on OBS right now, and it's just my CPU usage when I'm going gaming. It goes high as 20 to 30. Yeah, and mine on Streamlabs consistently goes into the full 40s. High 30s, high 40s. Things like that. Not as of yet, because I'm not running any games. So the fact that I do have 2 OBSs open and, you know, all my settings, it's doing so good so far. It's not doing anything too bad. Now, I do need to, it does have this perfect. This, I'll make sure it says NASA is forward, because I have my camera inverted. Okay. And then to the live scene here, where camera, screen capture. I think my, let's see, can I just copy and paste? Is that easy? Copy, and then go to live scene, and then paste. Paste reference, boom. And then I am in my live scene. And this is going to go below all of that. And of course, this is going to be where we are watching and playing games. So that's going to actually be right about there. Let's see. Well, that's just the space for, what am I, oh, this is an image? Oh, that's okay. Okay, that's what? My ship. If I'm in the ship, if I want to be in the ship while I'm streaming, I can be in the ship as I stream, which I do like that. If I can combine these together and then adjust them together. Well, I'm clicking on both. Why are they not, why are they not going together? How do I make them both go together? Shift click? No. Interesting. All right, there's something I have to learn. Is it normally good? I would say anything below 30 is okay, depending on what your settings are. I think the alert of when it's like alerts you of your CPU or CPU over usage is determined by you or by default at 30, somewhere around 30. You can always change it if you want to use more of your CPU. It's going to alert you when you're using too much by your settings, which you prefer to use. You can use technically 100%. It's just your CPU might not last as long. Okay. And then so basically there's kind of me. And now if I wanted to set up a transition from here to here, I'm assuming I would do that here. And I would say, okay, I'm going to use the move transition. Contains another source name. No. With numbers removed at the end. Maybe. Matching nest. I don't know what I'm doing here. I'm just gonna see if I can figure it out without watching a video on it. Cubic. Okay, let's just see if that worked. It did. Now it did. Now I want to change that to more like 2,000 milliseconds. And then, hey, that wasn't terrible. That was kind of whack. Essentially, that's exactly what I'm looking for. And then screen capture. And then screen select. Infinity. Now, should that not be behind? Okay, I see why. I need to hydrate. I'm going to grab my water in a second. Thank you. Now, I need to make sure that was global. That was whack. Okay. My mirrored scene should be, hello, that's my chat box. I have a lot to do over here. We're going to copy this. I'm just going to take this one. And we're just going to copy it. And we're going to duplicate it. Yes. And this is going to be mirrored. Because sometimes the game has, you know, you want to be on the other side. Okay. Okay. Then we're going to delete this one. Okay, and then essentially take all of this. Put it here. And then I'm going to flip the camera angle. Man, fucking Streamlabs copied all of this. Just copy and pasted this, didn't they? Flip horizontally. Bam. That way I have the two scenes I have. Oh, where's the stars? Okay. Boom. And image here of the ship. Me. I'm kind of below my ship. And the ship looks a little missized compared to the there. Did I get a chance to check out the game you told me about? Let me see. That's not terrible. And honestly, that didn't take me as long as I thought it was going to do in fucking as it did. I mean, it took a little bit less time in Meld, but that was not unheardedly difficult. The game that you sent me, was it the Who's at the Door? Or was it the
from victims who underwent illegal
this
medical
one?
Procedures at an unknown location.
Was it this one? Or was it Yes, I did. It's on my wish list right there. There it is on my wish list. There's another one I added today as well, which was what game is that? I don't remember putting that on there. Which I found that looked also terrifyingly fun. Since you got me on this tangent, let's just go talk about this real quick. Did you know how many games just got removed from Steam and why? Since we're on the subject and on Steam. Where's the game I'm looking for? Don't judge me. This just looks fun. Oh no, this is the one Cute Snack told me to get. I would say don't judge me about the... I didn't get the horse racing one. I want to. Abnormality is the other one I found. Ooh, mixed reviews. I don't know if we trust reviews anymore, do we? Okay, so Steam just removed a shit ton of games. I'm going down this whole video list. I'll be able to edit these later into shorter videos. But I just watched this video today. Was it here? Is it here? No, it was from Moist. Not gaming. This kind of pisses me off, I'm not gonna lie.
There is huge censorship going on in gaming right now. I'm sure a lot of you saw Steam a few days back announced that hundreds of games have been pulled from their catalog because of the efforts of a group known as...
So I had to go look this up. As soon as he got done, I looked up the group that's doing this. And while on the outside, all of their ideas and, seem like morally okay things to want, this is going to end badly. This is going to end very badly. The fact that they were able to pull, let me just pull up their roadmap. What is it called? I'll let it play while I look.
As Collective Shout. Collective Shout is an organization that has been forcing payment processors to bully platforms into removing games they deem unfit for sale due to the themes around them. And for Steam's case, they targeted hundreds of adult games that featured like rape and incest. And a lot of people were pumping their fist like, yeah, that's good. How could you possibly be mad at that? Less degeneracy and disgusting shit on the platform. This is a big W across the board. It's not censorship if it's things I don't like being taken down. Obviously, like every weapon out there, this is only going to be used for good. Clearly, they're only going to use this power to take down very bad, gross things. Which is the most low IQ take you could ever have. Collective.
So this is their webpage, which they're already bragging about. The win, new policy on Steam for rape and incest games removed. Which, you know, like, I don't play games that involve those two specific things, but I don't even know what games they removed and what is, you know, what is considered to whoever is making the decision of what those things are. The way that he talks about in the game, there was a game that basically, you know, the backstory of one of the main characters was like, you know, I guess a child that was abused by their father or the dad was abusive. I don't know. All I know is they got the game pulled because of the context of the character build. GTA 5 is on their list. They got GTA 5 pulled in Australia. I think that's down here on their roadmap. And while it says they're specifically leaning towards games that are about child abuse, rape, and incest, they are going further than that. Like, I think it says, you know, they're using the guise of child protection and normalizing sexual abuse in gaming. But what they're doing is, I guess they're somehow using the payment methods. So like, he explains it better than me.
Shout just yesterday has now also gone after itch.io, and they have removed every single not suitable for work game from their platform. Not just rape and incest games, all adult games. We have de-indexed all adult NSFW content from our browse and search pages. We understand this action is sudden and disruptive, and we are truly sorry for the frustration and confusion caused by this change. Recently, we came under scrutiny from our payment processors regarding the nature of some content hosted on itch.io. Due to a game titled No Mercy, which was temporarily available on itch.io before being banned back in April, the organization Collective Shout launched a campaign against Steam and itch.io directing concerns to our payment processors about the nature of certain content found on both platforms. So this is the playbook here. Collective Shout is a very powerful organization who somehow has a lot of leverage on payment processors. I don't know if they're just over there giving them perpetual wet willies or they got some serious dirt on like the upper echelon elites.
So, like, I don't understand, like, if you paid for a game through Steam, or, I mean, not like I'm saying, like, whatever games you play, if it's on Steam and you can buy it, if it was on itch.io and you bought it or downloaded it, and then they somehow got the game pulled, you can't play that game no more. And I know they want I mean, how is GTA 6 going to come out if they're able to do this? Is GTA 6 going to be a game? You know, there's some games they pulled off of Steam. I'm sure I didn't even know what they were. Let's see. I think the only games I would think, I had one game on my Steam that was probably on the list of questionable. To be honest, is it still on here? Let me go look for it. Okay, it is the game I was looking at playing is still on there. It's just an adult game. It's not like a you know, whatever. But all the games off of itch.io being pulled, all of them that are considered adult content. I had a plan of playing games that you could not play on platforms like Twitch, YouTube, TikTok, you know, on a different streaming platform that allowed you to play those types of content on their platforms as live streams. You're not able to do that anymore if this becomes a thing.
In the food chain at the payment processors, like they got proof they're in the Epstein files or some shit, but they have got these payment processors by the nutsack, and they are squeezing the piss from their balls. So now the payment processors are LARPing as the moral authority on what people are allowed to spend the money they earned on. So they're making these sweeping censorship changes to Steam and itch.io. Steam, they made it very easy for the public to not make a big stink about it.
I'm fine with I mean, preface this carefully. Not that I play the types of games they're targeting, but the fact that they're targeting games who like, you know, we're sitting here picking, like, you know, I'm colorblind in you know, OBS, so I can't really see where my chroma key and all of those hue and saturation things are supposed to be. Who's setting the meters for where what falls in the lines of these games? Like, who's setting the thresholds there, and how colorblind are they, or not, or if they? I mean, like, it's a weird gray area. It's a weird area. Like, how can one group just decide, hey, you know, we're just going to get rid of all these fucking games, and by doing that, we're going to target the payment processors like MasterCard, Visa, Valve, you know, so we're gonna not boycott. I don't even know how they got them to pull the games from Steam. Like, how does one group go to this group that then affects the world? I'm not sure how that even happened.
Because they went after a very low-hanging fruit target that most people aren't going to be upset about. Oh no, you lost all your rape and, you know, incest games.
Which I'm sure not be like people cared about.
Call the fucking wambulance. But what people don't realize is that is clearly just the first step here. Collective Shout has now already taken that, which hasn't even been like a full week, and it's translated it to wiping all adult content from itch.io, a totally separate platform using the same methodology of having the payment processors threaten to leave them. Censorship is not something that is a good thing. This is not a positive thing. Yoko Taro also came forward saying, like, this is pretty bad stuff, you know, that other countries can now limit everyone else's free speech. He's right. That's not great. You don't like to see that. And let's go ahead and extend this to its natural conclusion here. As Collective Shout becomes more and more successful at censoring games, other organizations will spring up and do the same for things Collective Shout maybe doesn't want to see censored. Like, who's to say, with this censorship, now that it's proven that it can be done by having the payment processors threaten to pull out of these services, if you could bully them through the payment processors, you win. That's checkmate. Who's to say an organization doesn't pop up that wants to take away all kinds of LGBTQ representation in games? And now that they have a proven formula to follow, they could easily spring up and be probably...
I mean, he's not wrong. If I'm looking at the Collective Shout website, their entire, you know, systematic takedown of not just video games, but anything and everything to do with whatever they deem not, hey, thank you, Saf, not, you know, it's a group of women came up with the idea 15 years ago of basically remove, and I say this, I think I have a lot of people in my community, at least, that read a lot of not safe for work content books, which I mean, you know, like, of course, like, you know, no one's coming for your books. Exactly. But like, this is like, you know, those are along the same lines of what they're going after. Anything that has to do with a lot of the content we are familiar with is their main target. And then they're like basically going after video games next. I mean, I think they started with, it looks like they started with, I don't even know, there's like 20 pages here. Most recently, this is where I get, you know, I guess my thing is like, you know, there's some things I would agree with, something I don't agree with. So to me, it's like, it's not all or nothing. It's cherry picking. And, you know, maybe that one game that they got taken down in Australia was a bad thing, but that allowed them to go to itch.io and remove every adult game, and then now to Steam and remove, you know, whatever adult games they deemed no. And then that's just the beginning. I mean, it's celebrating each victory along the way with, I mean, I don't know. I wanted to do something on my channel that I read and, you know, reacted to some of the content that you guys sent me, which I now know that I would be now targeting myself if I was to add, you know, this is basically kind of the content that they're going after. This is the kind of stuff they are not wanting to be talked about or streamed or played or seen ever. I just found it interesting as I stumbled across this, as I saw, you know, an article about Steam with everything being removed off Steam, that, you know, and everything, or at least itch.io. I don't know how y'all feel about that. I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know how I feel about it yet. This is, as far as I know, this is, you know, and then the fact that you can just go to their website and just submit anything that you think needs to be on their target list, you know? Hey, this needs to be on your list of targets, and then they look into it. This seems like a dangerous thing, you know, for maybe some, I don't know.
Probably very successful. Another organization could come about where they believe that in-rated games just shouldn't exist.
Yeah, this is what he's saying. He's talking about, you know, other organizations besides them. I think they've already, you know, they've done the damage. Maybe they're done with Steam and video games altogether, but hopefully they're done targeting video games altogether. But another thing is, like, you know, I think I read or saw that one of their main things that they're aiming for is getting GTA gone. Like, they don't want GTA to be a thing. Or at least, they know the way that it is known now.
Should be focused purely to appeal to a younger demographic. They shouldn't be deep, thought-provoking games. There should be no violence. There could easily be a very puritanical organization that comes forward making similar pushes for censorship. I don't know how delusional you have to be to think that somehow this is only ever going to be used against bad things. It's not. And it's already extending way beyond what it started with for Collective Shout. They started with a very easy win on a genre of games that most people aren't really going to miss. And they have already extended that to just broad adult content from another platform, itch.io. And as they continue to be more successful, more organizations are going to follow that blueprint, follow those footsteps, and be successful as well, censoring other things that maybe Collective Shout doesn't want to see censored. It's going to just be fucking pandemonium, because it is clear now that these...
Yeah, I kind of agree with that. I think he is pretty, you know, not, what's the word I'm looking for? Not insinuating. He's, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? Brain, do your brain thing. Speculating on some things, but I don't think he's that far off. I don't think he's, like, you know,
describe GTA as if it were...
I don't think he's that far off as far as his assessment.
A misogynistic funhouse stating the game.
This is one of the games that got taken down in Australia. Detroit Become Human, I guess. I don't know. It's, you know, it says it features child abuse and violence against women. Because it's like the growth. I guess it's the you know, canon events for the main characters of the game. You know, the bad things that happen in the life to the character, build the character into those things, and, you know, they just basically didn't want that to be a game, so that game was pulled. And then they are, you know, they've been, I guess, trying to get GTA 5 removed since 2014. Which I mean, like, I think, you know, I don't know, GTA 5 is probably one of the highest grossing games for a lot of people, for a lot of companies, a lot of platforms. I imagine if they were able to do that, then there's not much anybody else could not do.
Game lets players enact their fantasies of committing extreme violence against women, including punching women to the point of unconsciousness, killing them with a bat, gun, or machete, running them down with a car, and setting them on fire as they continue screaming. What world are we living in? What? So that all this is only reserved and acceptable if it's men. Like, if you're killing men with a bat, gun, and machete, running them down with the car and setting them on fire as they scream. These arguments are so weak.
That is kind of a good point. I don't know what else. Okay, I don't know.
Flimsy,
I just heard about. I just saw this video today when he was talking about. What's it called? Steam. When I went to Steam, and I saw that this pop up on my feed, I thought that was kind of crazy that, you know, I don't even know. As far as I can tell, there was no games I had on my wish list that were removed. I guess that's a good sign on my end. But I think it's kind of shitty because, like, what if, you know, someone deems some game I enjoy that has ghost hunting in it, and then, you know, oh no, ghosts are you can't disrespect ghosts anymore, and then they pull Phasmophobia. I don't know. I don't think it's right to be able to pull games like that, you know? Not that they've been on there for how long, and all of a sudden you decide to go and do it later after the fact. I don't know. I don't know. Your thoughts, go ahead, leave in the comments. Let me know. I don't know. But yes, in full circle, I did see the game on. I will play it as long as it's still there. Let's see. Okay, why is that? Oh, there we go. That's not bad looking. The question is, do I keep the ship in the corner with me in it? I kind of like that. Or do I go back to what I've been using, which is just me? Which is just me. I kind of like the idea of using the ship now. Just leaving the ship there and being in it at all times. Do I have that set up on my other one? That's crazy. I don't think it's right to pull games that people pay for. Do they get a full refund? I'm not sure about that point. I mean, like with itch.io, I'm not sure. I think on Steam, they would probably only reach out to you directly about the game and a refund if you are directly affected. Like, I didn't get any notifications. I don't think any games I had were affected, so I don't know the answer to that. But, you know, like, what if you had every single game on the list that was on their list? I mean, I'm sure if you were, you'd probably be on a few other lists. But how does that affect it? So, you know, they pull, you know, let's say they pull 100 games from their platform, and you paid for all 100 games that were $10 a piece. So you are, you know, who pays you the $1,000 back? Steam? The credit card companies that are forcing Steam to do it? It doesn't really make sense. I don't have any on the list, but I'm upset for. I'm kind of upset for them too, because like he states, and as while they went for, like he said, the low hanging fruit, they went for you know, the easy pickings. That is just the beginning. Like, okay, like that's how other things get started. Like there is a religion of spaghetti, you know, that wear, you know, colanders on their head as an extreme of one end to the other. So if someone's going to go now and take down video games because of these reasons, and they just feel like they can and they're going to, and they just do it, then there is definitely going to be a group of people that can go take down video games because, like he said, they have LGBT plus backgrounds or insinuations, because they have, you know, I don't even know. I mean, anything. You could pick any subject. They just chose to pick this one. Help us take on the biggest companies in the world. Ban porn on Twitter. Tell these retailers to bend the bunny. Are they going after Playboy? I don't know. Since our launch in 2010, we have achieved many wins. Billboards objectifying women pulled down. Sexualized children's clothing withdrawn from sale. Like I said, like, it's hard for me to even make it, like, there are things that I'm like, okay, but other things I'm like, well, like, the fuck, like, it's just like, it's just a weird, like, who's making the point? Who's the one saying this and this is okay, but this is not? This is not okay, but this is. Who's making this decision for the group? I don't trust it. Sexually violent video games banned. Andrew Tate's pimping courses removed from Spotify. Age verification trial underway to help protect kids from exposure to porn. Last year saw a record 34 wins. This was all possible because thousands of people like you decided to speak up and take action. I mean, like, there's just some things I agree with and don't agree with, but like going after video game companies by using the credit card people, the credit card companies, I don't know. I don't know. Something doesn't feel right. It feels suspicious. I mean, yeah, they specifically targeted, I guess, child speak out against normalization of sexual abuse. These games banned from Steam. Does it have the list? Let's see if it has a list of the games. I don't even want to look at this. I'm sure I'm on a list right now because of it. Child protection experts backing our campaign. Speak out on games normalizing sexual abuse. Collective Shout ambassador Kelly Humphreys and Professor Michael Salter quoted in media. These games are part of subcultures online that normalize sexual abuse. Okay. I mean, I'm not advocating the games. Interactive Sex Incest Twins, Episode 1. That was a game? Daddy Twins. Are these the actual game names, or they just populate a list here? We did it. Also, No Mercy is no longer available on the Steam store. Female gamers and sexual assault survivors join the collective and shout condemning No Mercy. Rape incest game. Let's see what the comments say. I don't have any games on the list either. Yeah, I don't know. Never heard of these games unless you really want to find them. Are you guys really going out of your way to find this stuff? Facts. And the world is now standing up for your malicious, intrusive, puritanical agenda. You've picked the wrong fight. You are celebrating and the trampling of rights of millions of people on the free market. When they naturally speak out against this authoritarianism, you lash back with vile insults, intentional mischaracterization, and flat-out lies. Is there more to this? Is that the only comment? Is it more? That's it. Okay, that just cuts it off. We are on to you, and since you spared nothing in your threats, harassment, bullying, and mockery of the people who were engaged in legal activity, you were stripping them of their rights. We spare none of you. We will greatly enjoy watching you be put in your place. You hateful, self-righteous, oppressive, censorship ends here. And it's long overdue. Good riddance. Let me get this straight. You think games which are M-rated are being marketed towards children? M-rated games, which Steam makes you put your birth date in to view anyway, so you actually go out of your way to see them. I mean, they aren't marketed toward kids. It's like they just do want the games to exist. It licenses a range of behaviors. This was yeah, I don't know. That's one. Submissions. Okay, this I guess is their upcoming things, or things that people have submitted. Let's see if it's just. I don't know. I don't think it's all about video games. So I think it's just like, you know, that was just on their list. Submission to the Anti-Slavery Commissioner's Invitation for Input Strategic Plan. Submission on Human Rights Council of Sex-Based Violence Against Women and Girls, New Frontiers Emerging Issues. It's, I guess, an Australian-based company. They're based in Australia. Criminal Code Amendment for deepfake sexual content. Okay. Our team, our partners. Australian Childhood Foundation adopt Nordic. Australian Summit against exploitation. Be slavery free. Campaign against sex robots. Damn, they're coming for your sex robots. I mean, just let me get my Blade Runner 2049 on. Why you gotta come at me like that? It looks like it's a religious-based Australian organization. I don't know. I'm not saying their message is wrong and like across the board. I agree with some of it. I just don't know if I agree with the methods. This is their wins. This is their current wins. Games removed from Steam. Temu removes child sex abuse doll. What? Temu had a doll? Item was discontinued. This is the second time we called out Temu for hosting the sale of child sex abuse dolls and replica of child body parts, including disembodied child heads, legs, and torsos, all produced. Okay, last August. I mean, I don't. Removed from Temu, but Temu they did not respond because Temu has proven it can't be trusted, and it's not enough to simply remove the dolls and body parts as we report them. We can still calling on Temu to stop selling all sex dolls and replica body parts. I didn't even know this doll was a thing. Temu's pulls dolls. This is an article about how they got put on sale. Okay. There's a doll. I guess is it just Australian team? I don't fucking know what they're doing in Australia. What's going on in Australia right now? Okay. It says we found number of listings that appear to be child sex abuse doll heads. They're marketed under the banner of beauty and health. For makeup practice, jewelry, hats, and holding wigs. It does say male masturbator, realistic facial features. Yeah, I guess. I mean, it's a sex doll. God, man, the future's scary. Either way you look at it, the future is fucking terrifying on both sides. Yeah, you know, I think I like my little you know, I'm gonna stay in my little box up here in space. Well, that's not the right one. I'm just gonna stay in my little spaceship out here in space, and wish you guys luck there on Earth. Goodness. Okay. Let's see. I don't need that one. Why is only okay? Well, I'm not getting any desktop audio. Are they playing a video? Does desktop audio come through here? I do not know. I feel like I'm so dark on here too. Desktop audio coming through OBS. My mic seems perfectly good as far as this here. That looks well set up. That looks perfect. That looks good as well. And the camera looks lined up. I want to group these three things together and make them forever locked together. Can I do that? Group selected items. So if I move them, they're just always together. Okay. Now I'm going to ungroup them. Or can I just... Okay, I can adjust them independently. Okay, good. I want to make sure they are... perfectly aligned. And then they just stick together. Beautiful, beautiful. And then that seems perfect. And if I ever need to, I can just put them where I need to. Okay. Okay. What else do I need? Now, the transition is kind of sick. I wonder if I can change exactly how it does that. I'm using the move transition, yes. What are the settings of it? Properties. Okay. Do everything. Switching point. I'm not sure what that does. Let's just play with it and see what it does. Easing in and out. No easing. Cubic, quadratic. I don't even know what any of that means. Transition, move, and then curve, zoom. Okay, let's just see what that does. That's not bad for a first run at it. That's not terrible. I don't want it to go that way. I want it to just drop down to this position here for this, you know, from there to there. I just want it to go backwards. Okay, I'm about to work on that. I think it's this one. All right, I gotta run to the restroom real quick. Give me a second. We can do this. Let's try. Yeah, bring it.
We're headed to the war zone. Get geared up and stand by.
Where was that at?
All stations, we are green to go. Stand by for deployment. Enemies are dropping into the area.
I mean, if anything, you have no business being so good. Wow, thank you. Thank you. It is my hoodie of hoodie. Oh, yes, there's been some updates. Oh, yes. This is the hoodie I'm rocking until I make my own, which is coming soon. But yeah, I like it a lot. I missed my mouth. Yes, yes. Those are not the HKs. These are fan submitted. Sent to my ship's P.O. box through Discord. They actually took the time to package them, blast them up to me in space. So I have to wear them. Oh yeah. I mean, they were sent to me. It'd be wrong of me not to. Woo. Barbecue chicken, what have you done to me? This is BBQ chicken, by the way. Korean barbecue chicken. Ha! Ha! I'm gonna clean the inside of that box for this night's over. It has to eat. Well, back to having the perfect done. Perfect investigations, 3 in a row. That was professional. Moving back on to nightmare mode. I did not grab my water, did I? I did not grab the water. Alright, let me grab the water. I think with what I have currently set up, how can I help you? How can I be of service? Ow, ow, ow. What can I do for you? Do you need to go on a spacewalk? You're very dirty. I think she needs out. She wants to go on a spacewalk. I'm gonna just go send her out the airlock. Okay. Still didn't grab the water. Whatever. We'll grab it in a second. Yes, they do. What? Oh, yes. They. Oh, the dogs. Yes, they do. Okay. Now, as far as this goes, I need to find my font. That's already killing me. I'm going to just get rid of that altogether right now because I'm mad. Delete. Yes, I'm short. So we start here. Do I want my global to be moved? I don't know yet. We're getting there. As long as I have enough to the starting point here. I just said I forgot my water. I'll go grab the water in a second. I'll go get the water, and then we'll hydrate. And then we transition into this. And then we have this. And then we have it mirrored. Beautiful. And then we can delete this one. Yeah. And then the observation deck, which is the observation deck. I mean, I'm not really sure what to do with the observation deck here. We just blank it out for now. Really? That stretched that big? I mean, do I that big? Why was it stretched so large? Camera angle just didn't make sense or what? I mean, that's way cooler. And there's the observation deck. Okay. Now, what would be cool is if I can figure out how to do this, is as I walk. You do not want to come back in already. That is outrageous. Is if as I walk back away from the camera, it shrinks the camera size so it gives depth. I don't know, that's a thing. That's something I'll look at when I'm looking for other plugins. I think I have my base, everything as far as my base was set up. Hey, look, it kept Obertron. It kept it did keep the Okay. That is my base setup. Let her in. I'm going. Let me. I'm like a third of the way through setting up OBS. I'm going to be here for a while setting it up. Once it's all up and running. For one, she did beg and then attack me to go out there, and then immediately change her mind and wanted to come back in. Yes, I understand it's 100 and something degrees outside, but, or, 1,000 Kelvin, whatever it is out there in space. But I did grab my water, yes. Hydration. Staying hydrated. Especially with whatever's going on with my body. It does not feel good. Okay. So I think all my scenes are set up. That's pretty much my base of everything I need what it to do. Look like I can make adjustments from here to make it better, but this is the start of it. This is the base. Now we need... What else do we need? I think the next most essential thing we need is going to be... Like, we need alerts. Like, how do I know? We need chats, alerts. Okay. Actually, I think before that, we need to make sure that we can multi-stream easily. So my next picture is if I'm going to broadcast in OBS. Now I already know I have it set up here where I can start streaming here and then add both YouTube and Kick just by clicking this one button after I'm streaming. That I know. I've tested it earlier. It works. One thing I would like to know is... Okay. Yeah, I don't really need that. Virtual camera is not something I'm going to need. Does this mean you can end stream on one platform and keep... Yes. So now I'll be able to do Twitch raids. So like, or, Kick, whichever. I can now just turn off YouTube and then, do other things. I can just independently stop and start each stream, which I could not do before in Streamlabs. That is another function I have the ability to use now. Not to mention that even though I'm setting all of this up, all of this is, not going to cost me money monthly anymore. But definitely like the transition more from there. Boom. We'll have to play with it. There could be more. I mean, I'm not really... I didn't have transitions earlier before, so I don't know why they're, they're new to me. That's the only reason they're cool. They were just new to me. Streamlabs didn't have this shit. Okay? If they did, I did not use it. Let's see. I need to look up... Do I have another page open? I think I do. Okay. I like Nutty. He just is very very informative on OBS. He uses it a lot. I think he's one of the most knowledgeable people on OBS. So what were the other plugins? Do I even need any of these? I got the one and I stopped it there. What was the other ones?
You guys know that I don't keep any secrets on my stream. That's literally why I started this YouTube channel, so I can show you guys everything about how my stream is set up, and then you can get some inspiration, go away, and create something unique for your own stream. Or, you know, you could just straight up rip off my stream. Thief. One of the things...
Alright,
Welcome to the OBS plugin Hall of Fame. If you're a beginner and this is your first time experimenting with OBS plugins, well then you came to the right place, because I literally don't ever do anything else with my life. Anytime I install OBS, these are my 10 go-to plugins that I immediately install. And we've covered most of these on the channel before, but I think now would be a good time to step back and reflect on where we're at in 2024, because there's a lot of plugins that I've recommended in the past that I don't recommend anymore. And even if you've heard of every plugin on this list, at least you can feel validated and be like, oh yeah, hell yeah, dude, I got like all of that stuff. I specifically picked the plugins that pretty much every streamer can take advantage of. You should be installing every single one of these. But for the people that are new to this channel, what is an OBS plugin? And how do I install one of these bad boys? Essentially, an OBS plugin is a thing you can install to add more features to OBS, whether they're simple quality of life changes or stuff you just straight up couldn't do before. All the plugins that we're going to talk about today are very easy to install. I've left them linked down below. You just click on the download button, get the installer, follow the instructions, and then reboot OBS afterwards. And all of them, with the exception for, I think, one, support Mac and Linux. And I'm assuming if you use Linux, then you know how to install plugins.
I would imagine you should know.
Why the fuck are you using Linux? And finally, we
like,
don't get this question often anymore, but
like YouTube videos. Start liking them and subscribing to the channels if you watch them.
No, none of these support Streamlabs, so you're gonna have to switch to regular OBS if you want to use any of these. Number 10 is gradient source. Now, OBS already has the ability to create solid color sources, but you could only choose one color. Gradient source allows you to create smooth gradients, so you could.
This one did seem like something I might want to use. I think.
Midpoint. You could change the number of colors in your gradient. It's really.
I would only pick 2 colors, obviously.
Accent pieces for your stream. Like if you wanted to create a simple border for your camera, you could do that directly in OBS. Once you get more advanced with OBS, you could do more stuff. Like you could add other filters to that gradient source. Maybe you want to make it like a scrolling kind of wave rainbow effect, like one of those light up keyboards. Or if you're really advanced, you can even make the color react whenever events happen in your stream, like whenever you get a sub.
That's kind of what I'm going for.
At number 10 is because the colors. It's not really that exciting. Number 9 is Win Capture Audio. This is the most simple way to split up your audio in OBS.
This is what I need.
If you want to play music and hear them in your headphones, but not have that go out.
Win Capture Audio. That's the first one I'm going to get. Let's get that one. Download. Let's see. Was that already on the download page for Windows? No, back. Thank you. Win Capture. Let's see. For OBS newer. This is going to be the newest version. And let's get this one installed. Jeez. I don't think you have to do that on this one. And OBS Studios, yes. Yes. Install. And then finish. And then we'll have to close OBS and reopen it. And I need to know how to use it because I'm not sure how to use it. I just need to delete this. Can you just get rid of it? I don't care. I'm not using it, the source anymore. Cancel. Where is that source even at? Where is it popping up at? Because I'm not even using it. There's the old chat box source, vids media, 2 alert boxes. Yeah, I need to get rid of all of this shit. Probably on the stream. There it is. I hear you, Astra. What are you doing, you weirdo? Okay. Girl? What are you doing over there? Okay, now how do you use it? Because I want to control my audio independently. I want to be able to turn down what you hear, or turn up what you hear, turn down what I hear, turn up what I hear, independently.
Or maybe you want to adjust your game volume just for your stream without it affecting what you hear in your headphones. This is the simplest way to do it. And if you record YouTube videos, it's also possible to separate each audio source onto different tracks so that you can split them up later when you're editing them in Resolve or fucking Adobe shit, whatever it's called. The one that takes all your money. I would have this higher on the list, but 1, it only supports Windows, and 2, the feature is already built into OBS. However, the one that's built into OBS is an older version of the plugin that only allows you to set 1 program per audio source. The newer version allows you to tie multiple programs to a single audio source. So say you play like 5 different games, you can just have all your games on 1 audio source instead of 5 different sources. You know what else has Win in it? Windows 11, which is like really expensive. You can like save, send you an activation code. You go into that matter. There's effects like this fisheye effect, some.
Okay, didn't really go into how to set it up, did it? Audio mixer settings, maybe. Okay. Tracks. Three, 4, 5. Two, 3, 4, 5. Okay, that's just on that scene. Vertical layout. Oh, I don't know if I like that as much. I would say I do not. I like the vertical. I'm a vertical guy. Plus, it condenses more space. I have more space. Okay. Definitely here with active sources. Okay, so the stars have nothing to do with this. Doesn't even need to be on here. It's not. Those don't even make noise. Hide. We have the desktop audio. That's active. Can we just make that disappear? The camera does not do audio at all. We don't need that. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Mic, desktop audio. That's pretty much it. These will need to be changed when I add like effects, sounds, alerts, all of that. I just needed, and I know I needed it. How much space I just added to my shit here by making it vertical. I don't see where there's using those and assigning them to advanced audio properties. That's the same window. It does not look advanced to me. Let's see, audio mixer. I mean, it's down here. Maybe it's within each channel audio. Okay, that's game capture. It saves every game I've played. Is that which is just open? That's the last game I played. These are all available windows. Can I just go to any full screen application is what you're going to capture? Yes, that's what I would like you to be. And then, I'll figure out the audio thing later, I guess, when I go to using it. Cool. Nope, I didn't want to do that. Screen capture. Now, I do want to have this like I had it before, where I can basically toggle with a hotkey between screen capture and game capture. That's something I'll set up when I start going through my hotkeys. What else? Oh, maybe it's here. I think it's here. This is a setting I was looking for. Audio settings. There we go. Now I didn't see when I was playing that video. Was the audio coming through in OBS or not?
Distortion effects, this
It is,
shaking
okay.
camera filter. Lots of
On
really
both.
cool filters, and most of them have their own settings you can adjust, so you can fine-tune them to make them look the way that you want. OBS shader filter works best
That's
when
all I need,
you
'cause there's me,
combine
there's the-
shaders together. So, for example, if you wanted to create an old CRT TV aesthetic, you can add a CRT curvature.
All right. And then audio. Speakers. Desktop audio, push to mute. Okay, here's some hotkeys for the audio portions. Mic, push to mute. Enable push to mute. Yes. Instantaneous. Yes. Push to mute, delay, none. Enable push to talk. No, that's not what I'm wanting. Is it like on here? Let's see. Apply. Where does that go? I don't see a push to mute. These are not the hotkeys I'm thinking of. I'll leave that off. Capture game audio. Maybe these are the hotkeys I'm thinking of, but I'm not assigning hotkeys here. Okay, so we'll get to that later. I don't want to get distracted. Audio. Chat box. I need to create a chat box. Okay. Meters. We want the peak or true peak high CPU usage. How much higher? It's only 1%. Maybe 2%. We could spare it for now. I like the true. That looks much better. Desktop audio. Where's my filters for desktop audio? We're going to add a small amount of... Oh yeah, I forgot. I don't even have it. I can't even hear myself through here yet. But we're going to add a limiter on our desktop audio so it never goes above 3 decibels, no matter what or how loud the game is. Anything I'm pushing out to my stream will always be under 3 decibels. And then we're going to add a... I don't think it needs a compressor. I think it just needs a limiter on it. Just in case anything I'm playing is too loud, it just stops it there. That's all I had on my other one. And then do I have my stuff here? Filters. I have none. Okay. There's a noise gate. Compressor is laid out. 3-band EQ. That is ugly. Why is it so ugly? I want an actual... It must be a plugin for EQs. Okay, let's go back to our video.
Shader, and then add a scanline shader. Then on top of that, you can add some color correction to make it look kind of blue. I use this effect for my heads-up display, and I even made it face tracking using something else that we're
Does it limit the decibels? So like a limiter is going to just... It's like almost like a ceiling. So the ceiling it does is basically Like if I was to like on my mic right now, I think on my Hello? There we go. Okay. So on my mic right now, on here, I'm running a noise gate, a compressor, and a limiter at, you know, two decibels below zero threshold. So if I was to yell or scream or get as loud as possible, no matter how loud I got, the mic is never going to go over a peak limit and get distorted and break, you know. For the most part, it's not going to crackle and distort as much as it would if I didn't have this on. Where if I was to turn off the limiter, then it could then go way over zero. It could peak out. It could crash. It could start distorting the audio. It's kind of like the release time is going to be like how soft your ceiling is, how curved it is. Along with those, the compressor, you know, which is crazy because I have this compressor like maxed out and it barely does any kind of compression. Whereas what I can tell here, this is doing a large amount of compression and a advanced audio property. Okay, that's just that. I just feel like the audio plugins, or even the default plugins on OBS, just seem to be better. Filters. So, I mean, I'm sure I haven't even downloaded the other ones. I'm sure there are other ones you can add VST plugins and other ones. Where would it limit the sound? What's going out to you? So, so this right here, see how this little line is stopping right there, below the right. 3 decibels below zero is the max amount of volume it's letting out to your ears. I can't really show that on Streamlabs, but if I was to, if you're looking at this decibel meter right here, if I was to turn off the limiter, it can now go higher than it can peak. It can go straight up and peak. It can go louder. It's that's peaking right there. So it's showing peak. If I turn this back on, it can't peak anymore. It's going to stop that peaking decibel at 3 meters. I'm actually going to kill it to about 2 decibels is really what I want it to stop at. And then that's going to be the highest my audio can go is 2 decibels. From negative 2 decibels from peaking. Or clipping. It's really from clipping. Negative 2 decibels from clipping, which is where I want it. So no matter usually where I have my mic, how far away I have my mic, it should sound close to about the same volume. And then no matter how close or how loud I get, it should never peak. Streamlabs doesn't do it very well. I've messed with the settings multiple times in Streamlabs, and theirs just doesn't work that well. This is just affecting my microphone and microphone only. So the sound alerts, which are no longer available. Let's do this. So on Streamlabs, the sound alerts are their own audio. So right here is the sound alerts. This is like the screams you play. See, I have it turned down to 24% out of 100. This is what you hear. This is what goes back out to you is this amount, 24%. That's just this one. And I think on, yeah, I do have a limiter on this. I believe. Should be a limiter on there. I believe there is. But yeah, that's what the jump scares are on. They're on their own track, just like if they were their own microphone or their own audio source. They are separated from what goes out to you. Yeah. But just gotta make sure their audio is routed correctly, otherwise it can double up. I've had that issue before. Hide OBS windows from screen capture. I mean, that sounds like okay. What else? Let me get back to the story. Let me get back to where you were. I was learning a lot. I like learning. What was next?
Lets you infinitely rotate a source. There's one that makes your camera go wavy, like in Yoshi's Island, where Yoshi like eats the drugs and then he's like all high and stuff. I use OBS shader a lot and I would have had it higher, but some of the shaders are pretty buggy and some even crash OBS. It's pretty hit and miss, but you can create some really unique aesthetics with the right combination of shaders. Number 7 is the Advanced Masks plugin. This is a fairly new one, but it's one of those plugins that immediately made me think, why did this not exist like 5 years ago? If you've ever wanted to cut your camera into simple shapes like circles, stars, like the really long circles, or maybe you just wanted to add simple rounded corners to your camera, this plugin lets you do that all within OBS. You could just use the built-in image mask feature and create your own PNG, import that into OBS to make whatever shape you want.
Yeah, that's how I knew you had to do it before. Maybe it's gotten better since the last time I tried.
But this is a lot simpler and you could adjust it right within OBS. So you could adjust.
I don't have the use for this, essentially. I don't need this, but I'll still download it to have it.
See the adjustments in real time rather than having to recreate a PNG over and over again. You can also use one source at
Did I miss one or something?
Number 8.
I feel like I missed one.
OBS shader filter. This one allows you to add really cool effects to your camera, or any source for that matter. There's effects like this fisheye effect, some distortion effects, this shaking camera filter. Lots of really cool filters, and most of them have their own settings you can adjust, so you can fine-tune them to make them look the way that you want. OBS shader filter works best when you combine shaders together. So for example, if you wanted to create an old CRT TV aesthetic, you can add a CRT curvature shader.
This is a whole lot. I mean, it's stuff I'll probably never use, but I'll still download it. What was that? I have the wind capture, OBS shader filter. OBS shader filter, yeah, run anyway. Okay, what next? Advanced masks. I mean, might as well have them all the plugins we need installed, even if we don't plan on using them. They're just good to have. How many times do I click install? Okay. What was next on the list? Stroke glow shadow. That's kind of cool. Nope. Go wait. And composite blur. I think who was I telling about? I think it was maybe Sabrina about how much this was all be when I was switching from OBS's. How much was all entailed in doing all of this, and a lot of this Streamlabs didn't do, or doesn't do, or if you were trying to do it, they kind of do it, but in their own like user-friendly way that's really more somehow not more complicated, just doesn't work right. Let me see what those even do.
One, but it's one of those plugins, might be one of the worst names for a plugin ever, but it is self-explanatory. It allows you to add outlines, glows, and drop shadows to any source in OBS. So let's say you've used the advanced mask plugin to cut your camera into the shape of a circle. Then you could use this plugin to add an outline, or
I did like the idea of using drop shadow, which I did not have before. I don't think there's even an option for that. There might be. Let's see. So my camera itself. Filters. Not a filter, really. It's not a filter, is it? It's an effect. Filter. Add. It wasn't a filter, was it? Move action, move value, noise gate suppression. I don't think it was a filter. What was it? An effect, right? How do you add it? Oh, shadow, stroke, shadow. What are you doing? Hey, no. Give me that. Yeah. Thank you. Source. On the cam? No, not that one. Is there another one? Cam. The group? No. Game capture. Just the cam. But it looks like it's putting it over the whole thing. Yes. Oh, wow. There's a big shadow of me. That's kind of cool. Definitely have to look how to set that up. Size. Intensity. There's the big shadow of me. Shadow distance. It's not exactly how I'm wanting to put it. Oh, here we go. I need to go right here. No, it didn't work either. Probably need to mess with that. Okay, interesting. What else can I add?
or a drop shadow, or both. It's very adjustable too. You could adjust the thickness of the border, you can add an offset, you can change.
Okay, so
plug in to cut your camera into the shape of a circle, then you could use this plugin to add an outline or a drop shadow or both. It's very adjustable too. You could adjust the thickness of the border, you can add an offset, you can change the strength of your drop shadows, and really simple blur filter into OBS. You can use this one and yaw adjustment. I personally use this in my just chat global sources that show on all of your scenes. This is the plugin to do it. Like, let's say you have a video file and you want that video to be displayed no matter if you're on your just chatting scene, gameplay scene, BRB scene. This is what you'd use downstream here for. You can also use it to apply global filters that affect the entire screen. So,
okay, I had that one already, right? Composite blur drop key. What's the last one I downloaded? Composite blur was the last one I downloaded. I don't have drop key yet. Install that one. Installer. Okay. This is the top 10. I already have move, I think. And then source clone. That's for Linux. I didn't need that one. Okay. Now configuring these will be a fun part.
Let's say you're using that wave filter from as by this point, because not only can you slide sources around the screen, you could animate other filters like that 3D filter. You can make sources react to the sound of your voice. You can do typing text animations. You can even have sources that track onto your face and move as your face moves around. Or if you've got one of those fancy face tracking cameras, you can control the physical gimbal using simple filters in OBS. There is so much you could do with the Move plugin. Most people just use it for transitions and then call it a day, but it does so much more than that. I could literally make like 10 videos on Move transition.
Oh, I'm sure you have. Let's look. Let's see. Dude is very educational as far as OBS setups that I found his channel. Let's see, playlists, OBS plugins, masterclass, past broadcasts, vertical broadcasting. I do need to set up my multi-stream. So I need the multi-stream plugins for TikTok. Source animations. Filters, morphing transitions. I know he had another one.
If you're brand new to OBS, your transition...
And semi-new, yes. Multi-stream plugins, there we go. I think I'm going to be using SE Live, just because SE Live is very similar to what I've been using. With Streamlabs, it's almost identical to how Streamlabs OBS Streamlabs multi-stream works.
Multi-streaming again lately. Gee.
It works the same way Streamlabs does, where if I am multi-streaming, it gives me like a setup of each streaming platform I'm streaming to right now, which I am streaming to all four of these three right now, where you can adjust each one independently. YouTube will sometimes have the vertical or horizontal and vertical enabled. You can adjust the each one independently, the title independently, versus how I think ATM works.
I wonder why. A lot of you guys have been wanting to stream on Twitch, YouTube, Kick, TikTok, and whatever other platform you can think of, all at the same time. And if you've done any amount of research on this topic, the two main options you've probably heard about are ATEM Multi-Stream and SE Live. These are two plugins for OBS that allow you to go live on whatever platforms you want. But which one is better? ATEM Multi-Stream. I just thought I'd cut straight to the chase because half you motherfuckers have too much ADHD to sit through a whole YouTube video. But yes,
same.
For 90% of you,
yes,
ATEM Multi-Stream will be just fine. It's simple, it's the more stable option, and it just works. However, SE Live does have a few things that will make you go, oh wow. Yeah. First off, both of these options are direct multi-stream solutions.
What's up, Frozen?
Not services like Restream.io that simply.
What up, Frozen? Yep, just going through basically setting up from doing an entire overhaul from Streamlabs to OBS. What's up? Which it's not a bad setup so far. I actually do like it much more already. I haven't even used it yet. Just basically setting up all the core functions, and then you know, from what I've been using. Hello. Okay. Don't save. Discard.
Mirror your stream for you. Both of these plugins will require a faster internet connection, so if your internet sucks, just skip this video and use Restream.io. That's also a really good option. I have a video about that somewhere.
Which I'll admit this, along with my internet upgrade, as I went from what I was using before, which is pretty much just bridging a network off of somewhere nearby and stealing internet, not stealing it, borrowing it, to getting it my own dedicated fiber connection of 2 gigs. I learned along this path that my motherboard only supports up to a 1 gig connection. So while I have 2 gig to everything else, 3 gigs to some, only 1 gig to my network card of my PC. That's going to be an upgrade down the road. But I think a 1 gig fiber connection is all right for most of the things that I'm doing.
I'm sure you can find it. However, they do not require a faster PC. I've seen a lot of people who don't even want to touch multi-streaming because they think it's going to kill their computer or their computer's too slow for it. That isn't the case. Both of these options allow you to encode your stream just once and then beam that single encode to all the different platforms that you want to stream to. So no, you don't need to worry about OBS eating up all your resources. If you can stream to one platform, you can stream to several as long as your internet is fast enough. Stop being cringe and paying full price for Windows with our sponsor VIP SDK.
I believe mine is fast enough. I imagine 1 gig is enough.
$21. Just use my code NUTTY at checkout to get them for 30% off. And if you want to get them for a little bit cheaper, you can get a Windows 10 key for $15, and those can be updated to Windows 11 completely for free. You can pay using a secure payment method like PayPal. They'll send you an activation code immediately, and then you can put that in your Windows settings, and you're good to go. Check out VIP SDK keys in the link down below. So I'll go through the pros and the cons for both these options so that you can make an informed decision about what's right for your stream. We'll start with ATEM Multi-Stream. This is a really simple plugin. It installs right over the top of normal OBS Studio, and yes, it is completely free. If you
I'm all about the free. All about the free.
The wrong thing, okay? I'm right and you're wrong, okay? It's free. I promise. It will always be free. You don't have to pay a single cent for this ever. Whenever you start OBS, you'll see this dock up here. Just go into it, go into settings, put in your stream key for all your different platforms, and you're good. You just hit the green icon next to each platform, and then you're live. Now, one thing you'll notice immediately right off the bat is this thing that says built-in stream. What the f does that mean? Basically, your built-in stream is the one that you already have set up in your normal OBS settings.
Which you have to stream to at least one. That's your built-in, which is usually Twitch.
So when you go into your settings, into the stream tab, whatever you have set up here, that's your built-in stream. And that's important to note because by default, this is the one that all your other platforms are going to piggyback off of. So if your built-in stream is Twitch, your YouTube stream is simply going to piggyback off your Twitch stream. It's really important that you understand this because if you try to go live on YouTube without first going live on Twitch, you will get this error. And that's because if you don't start your Twitch stream first, then your YouTube stream has nothing to piggyback off. So make sure that you always start your Twitch stream first. By the way, yes, I highly recommend that you make your Twitch account your built-in stream, not your YouTube account. The reason being, Twitch's VOD track feature doesn't work unless Twitch is your built-in stream. So if you care about the Twitch VOD track feature, Twitch has to be the main platform. So make sure that when you go into your normal OBS settings and you set up your built-in stream, make sure that is your Twitch account. Now, one of the things I really like about A2 Multistream is you can stream to each platform at completely different quality settings.
That's exactly what I've been trying to set up for a long time. Hold on one second.
Completely different resolutions. So if you want to stream at 4K to YouTube but 720p to Twitch, you can change your encoder in the advanced settings for each platform and tell ATEM to not piggyback off your built-in stream. So you just change it from your main encoder to something else. Twitch technically doesn't allow you to do that in their terms of service, but like, what are they gonna do? Ban me again? Yeah, technically speaking, Twitch doesn't allow you to stream at a higher quality on other platforms because of just a dumb rule, in my opinion. But I don't think that they're ever going to enforce that rule.
Oh, was it? Daughter's going to start streaming using OBS. Any tips? Yeah, as my daughter right here. Hold on one second, Frozen. What were you saying? Streaming. No one can hear you. Nope. I went and I'm an old gamer. I went and got energy drinks before I ever even started streaming. I was not, and I'm not in the need to go anywhere at the moment. I hadn't planned on it, no, but if I leave, I'll call you. Okay. All right, love you. Bye. So using OBS, I'm just basically going through the setups right now of I kind of imported my settings from some of my settings, the base settings that I wanted to use, just basically my scenes, my cameras, and like my overlays from Streamlabs, which I've been using for like 3 years. From what I can tell, it is much more complicated to use OBS, but this guy's YouTube channel is really good for I want my stream to do this. Here's how to do it. So I'm watching all of his stuff, going through his step by step everything is definitely going to be helpful in like, oh, I want my stream to look like this. I want my stream to do this. I would definitely suggest giving this guy a subscribe and looking through his videos. Nutty is very informative as far as like, the stuff I'm trying to do now is stuff I don't know how to do. The Streamlabs is a lot easier to do all this stuff with. It is easier. It's if you're gonna do any complicated, yeah, Nutty's awesome. Complicated stuff, Streamlabs does not do, but it's like the user interface and the ease of use is definitely there. It's just a lot of their stuff is like all inclusive. And then I would definitely suggest using OBS if you are, if you're knowledgeable and able to set the stuff up. And then as far as like tips, I don't have any tips yet because I've actually never streamed using OBS, not even once. This is my setup for it. My next stream and all further streams will be on OBS from this point forward. So anything I've done before has all been through Streamlabs.
But I did also say that they wouldn't enforce the rule of like showing multi-chat on stream. So like that just goes to show that you
I think it is really shitty that you cannot, like, Twitch's terms of service require you to stream at a higher resolution and quality than any other platform. You cannot stream to a higher quality than to YouTube or Kick, and a lesser quality to Twitch
to something else. Twitch technically,
to ensure the quality of Twitch users' experience at a minimum no less than experience of other platform service, including by your engagement to the Twitch, like is a disservice to the Twitch community if you don't stream in a higher resolution to Twitch over anything else. And then, of course, not having your multi-chat. Like, I can't have my chat on screen, but only if it's Twitch chat, although I'm violating terms of service, which, as he describes here, that he was doing multiple times, and he did get banned for it.
doesn't allow you to do that in their terms of service, but like, what are they gonna do? Ban me? Again? Yeah, technically speaking, Twitch doesn't allow you to stream at a higher quality on other platforms because of just dumb rule, in my opinion. But I don't think that they're ever going to enforce that rule. But I did also say that they wouldn't enforce the rule of like showing multi-chat on stream. So like that just goes to show that you should never trust a YouTuber, even me, because man, did I get that one wrong. Now, if you want to multi-stream to a vertical platform like TikTok or YouTube Shorts, you will need another plugin, Atem Vertical, which works together with Atem Multi-Stream.
That's the one I need next. So, if I use Atem, which I've heard it's very difficult, it's not as easy. Streamlabs is partnered with TikTok. So, like, to stream to TikTok from Streamlabs, it's the same as streaming to Kick or to Twitch. But I've read that streaming to TikTok from OBS is exceedingly difficult.
And this one adds a second vertical canvas specifically for vertical platforms like TikTok and YouTube Shorts. It's super nice. That second canvas works basically exactly
Which I'm gonna need. I don't have a second
your
canvas yet. I'm gonna need to add that now.
Except it's vertical. And you can even link your vertical scenes to your horizontal scenes so that when you change scenes in one, it automatically changes scenes in the other. The huge problem I have with this setup is you still need to have a TikTok stream key if you plan to go live on TikTok. And Atem doesn't provide any way for you to get a stream key. So unless you're a part of an agency that can give you a stream key, or you want to use some weird sketchy tool that I showed you guys how to use last year that everyone thinks is a virus, you can't go live on TikTok. Now, there is a way to stream to TikTok without a stream key, which I'll show you guys how to do that in next week's video. I'm just gonna withhold that information for now, just to get you guys to subscribe. The point is, streaming on TikTok with Atem Vertical is at best super annoying, and at worst impossible. The other thing is, if you want to dual stream,
I think SC Live is much easier to stream to TikTok with.
And vertical formats, it's also super annoying with this method. In case you don't know, I did this whole video showing you how to go live in both horizontal and vertical. You can actually do that on YouTube,
Which I've been doing.
The only thing is, it's a really annoying process because YouTube makes you schedule your second stream, which is
I've been doing this for over a year. So it's not. This is not a big deal to me because I've already been doing this whole time.
A 4-page process, and you need to do that at the start of every single stream.
Been doing that.
Atem doesn't set
Been
that
doing
up
that.
for you. Point is, if you want to stream in vertical format, you can do it with the Atem multi-stream and vertical plugins. It's just really annoying, and it's so annoying to the point that I don't even want to do it. Also, there are a few other things that I feel like Atem multi-stream is missing. For one, it doesn't come with a multi-chat dock, so if you want to combine all your chats together in one stream of messages so you can easily keep up with all your different streams, you need to use like a separate tool or download a separate widget. Like my widget, the multi-chat widget, which is super awesome, by the way. You should go download it, nutty.g.
Which I will be. This will be nice because, like, on my streams, like, I have a streamer bot which combines Kick Twitch and YouTube all into one chat box for me to look at, but I can't display that on my stream because it's a violation of terms of service. And then the TikTok goes into a separate chat, which I can't get to go into one. This should be allow all of them. I don't know. I don't see TikTok on there because he doesn't do that. He doesn't do TikTok, so I bet it doesn't. TikTok has always been a separate chat box. So now it comes to do I keep live streaming to TikTok or not, and how much of a pain in the ass is it going to be because I'm stepping away from Streamlabs? That's like another question.
GG, as well as all my other cool stream widgets. Thanks, that'll be awesome. By the way, I'm working on adding Kick and TikTok support to that widget. So
there we go.
Stay tuned for that one. I'll make an update for that later on. Just go to the website and check it out. But it's not just that though. Like another example is if you want to update your stream titles for all your different platforms, you need to open up like a billion different windows for all your different platforms.
That's literally what the screen to my right looks just like that.
I feel like the SE Live plugin fills in some of those gaps. SE Live is another plugin from the guys over at Stream Elements, and it's very similar to Atom Multistream, but because it's from Stream Elements, they've added a ton of quality of life features that Atom Multistream doesn't have. For example, widgets, alerts, a media request dock, but most importantly, it has built-in multi-chat, so you can see all your messages, and that's built into OBS. It's basically an all-in-one solution that tries to provide everything you could possibly need for multi-streaming, and then some. Now, some of you may not like that. Personally, I'm not a fan of how it adds like a bajillion more docks into OBS. All I care about is the multi-streaming component. I don't care about all this other media request stuff. I didn't ask for this, okay? I just want a multi-stream. But for some of you that like that all-in-one solution, SE Live might be for you. The other thing that SE Live does really well is they make it so much easier to go live on your vertical platforms. If you want to go live on TikTok, they have this whole instant approval access.
This like just Streamlabs is just like this. So you do this one time, and once it's approved, then you can just go to Streamlabs and go live on TikTok without having to do this every single time, just like you would go on YouTube.
You pretty much just connect your TikTok account, press a couple buttons, and then you're all good. You don't need to get a TikTok stream key, no weird stream key generators or anything like that. You just hit go live the same way that you'd go live on like Twitch or YouTube, and everything is set up for you. Speaking of going live, remember how I said that with Atom, you have to jump through a million windows just to change your stream title? One of the cool things about SE Live is whenever you hit that start streaming button, it actually opens up a pop-up that lets you name all of your different streams in like this really nice clean little
That's
window.
how Streamlabs works.
This was the biggest game changer for me.
Which I did after this whole avenue I've gone down of learning how to, switching OBS is that Streamlabs pretty much copied Stream Elements' entire OBS. Like, even the looks, the layouts, the fonts, pretty much copy and pasted everything.
Honestly, I absolutely despise the YouTube dashboard. I feel like this is so much cleaner. And to top all that off, there's one more killer feature of SE Live. You can create infinite canvases. With Atom Multistream, you need to install a second plugin, Atom Vertical, to get that second canvas, and even after that, you still only get 2 canvases. Well, with SE Live, if you want to send a different layout to Twitch, a different layout to YouTube, a different layout to Kick, you can do that. And that might actually be a good idea because, as you might have heard, Twitch really doesn't like it when you show your Kick chat and your Kick alerts in your Twitch stream. So you could potentially make a dedicated layout just for Twitch that follows all of Twitch's annoying rules, and then you can have a separate layout for like your Kick and your YouTube streams because they don't care about all those stupid rules. Me personally, I just say, fuck it. Break all of the rules. Just kidding. Only joking. Only joking. Half joking. Follow those terms of service, guys. They're so cool, and definitely I love Twitch. Bleed Purple, Hashtag bleed purple, guys. So
Well, I have not been in any kind of Twitch jail yet. I have been in TikTok jail multiple times, YouTube violation once. I'm going to stay off as many lists as I can, so I'll probably be going with SE Live. That's probably I'm going to go. For now. If I don't like it, I can always update and switch later. So we'll add that and see how easy it is to just add my multi-stream vertical platform to OBS. Probably going to need to close OBS for this. Yes, I assumed I needed to. Oh, close Opera as well. On which one? Hold on. Which one is it wanting to close? Oh, this one. That's fine. Yes.